Hello, everybody. Here we go. We got our friends in the chat. Melted Copper here to harass me about dating a clown's daughter once again. Zaman Cookster 7979, Operative D, Dreadnought E, or Zekio. Anybody miss Splits 0065. I'm here with Travis Moody.
What up?
Well, what is that? Oh, that's my. I had a thing open. Okay. So that is. I'm here with Travis Moody from A Toy Kind of Mood.
What's up? What's up? Thanks for having me.
No, great to have you, man. And of course, Destro Designs.
Howdy, y'all. Good to see everybody.
So yeah, tonight we're going to talk about all the characters that like were made from Classified, right? So like kind of Classified made some of these characters up, which I think is pretty good. I have a pretty good feeling about that as a way that this kind of goes on for a while, because obviously they're going to burn out of like the ones you really care about. You know what I mean? Like how far away do you think we are from when they burn out of the ones that like hit that nostalgia vibe for you?
I feel like every time I've gone to make any kind of list, I usually look at all of the ones that are kind of left, and it's a lot. I have to sit down every time we talk about this and it comes up. I forget to go back and actually count, but I think there's like 30. I think that I would be like, yep, I definitely want that. Like at least it's probably more than that, but just off the top of my head, the last time I was scanning what's left out of 88, 89, 90, and even some of 91 is still very good. I think pretty much after that, it's mostly not good. But between here and that time in 91, I think there's like 30 that I would be happy to buy.
That only gets us a couple years though, right?
For sure. That's not a ton. That's not a ton. But, if they do these things like we're talking about here, where they invent, because when we're looking at the ones that are just brand new that they've come out with in the last couple of years, every one of them is good, right? Some of them are excellent. Hell, one of them, when we get to it, is like arguably my favorite Classified overall. So it's I think they're doing a great job. Two of them actually are really like at the tippity top of my list for sure.
What do you think, Travis? What do you think about how long do you think before they burn through the ones we want, like from nostalgia?
Yeah, I mean, once they get the OG13 in there, I'm done with the line. I might even sell off all my toys. I might be done collecting toys forever. I mean, Classified is dead. That's it. R.I.P. No, I mean, from what I gather, we're going to open talking about Lenny too, is that so it's not like his stuff. We're still going to see his stuff for at least the minimum 6 months, right? The end of the year, maybe 8 months, right? End of the year, but because I watched shout out to Yo Joe Reviews. I watched this. He had a really nice recap, kind of just explaining the business behind that. With some, it's all theories right now, unless you call. Even I'm pretty cool with Lenny. I didn't bother him. You know what I mean? Like let him do his thing with his family. I'm not going to try to get any inside dirt on it.
Right.
But I mean, we should. I think we got 2 years, like almost 2 years worth of Lenny stuff, like sprinkled in. It's not 100% like all Lenny. Like you're gonna get stuff that's new, and it depends what's ready, what molds are ready and stuff like that. But I think a year and a half is good, but at minimum 8 months, you know what I mean, to what we're gonna get with Lenny's design. So I think the longevity of Cloud, you're not gonna just dump GI Joe. The line sells. I don't think it sells like Marvel Legends or anything like that. I don't have numbers, but I mean it does pretty good, right? I mean, and they don't have to pay any royalties on top of you have to pay the Disney tax and all that. I mean, that's strong for them. You know what I mean? So I can't see it like just dying off because the guy went to boss fight. You know what I mean?
No, of course not. I think
we're good for a while. I'm not, maybe not like 5 years, but like I would say at least 2 years we got a good run. Will it go beyond that? It depends if they get another Lenny. You know what I mean? Like if you get another person, and Tony's amazing, but he's a painter. He's also now become a designer through his work with Lenny. So I wouldn't sleep on Tony. A lot of those span streams, a lot of those are his ideas too. It's not just him painting stuff and coming up with mock renders. So I wouldn't sleep on Tony, but if he's not the guy for the job, there could be another one that takes the line much further than we think.
Yeah, totally. I think you absolutely could have somebody come in. We don't know. I mean, Lenny's great. He was a really talented guy.
For sure. I mean that's the
guy. It's not like he died,
Right. I mean, that's the thing that most people as it is with news, like it's more, you tend to gravitate towards the negative like aspect of something when a news breaks like that, right? So most people are like, that's it, end of line, like Travis is saying. But the one thing that they're not saying enough is as far as the average person concerned, it's a 50-50 roll of the dice that the next person comes in does even better. I mean, is that possible? I don't know. I don't even know if it's likely or if it's not likely. It's nobody knows. It's 50-50, until they put a person in there and they come out. I mean, I know it was nice. BMAC came out and was like, hey, man, we're not going anywhere. We're strong. We're moving on. We still have Tony. We're moving forward with all this.
Yeah.
And, that's all I needed to hear. Right. Okay, great. Sounds good. You're going to try to do the best you can with the situation that we have. And that's it. Yeah. So, but I think it's good. I'm tend to be more optimistic about it and try to be like, hey, maybe it gets better. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, the other thing is like one of the reasons, like you think about, well, why would he have left? And maybe he got burnt out. The same thing happened to Ron Rudat when he did the original line. He did it till 87, and he was like, he got sick of it, and he burnt out, and then he stopped. And he moved on to something else, because it's like you produce 200 plus of these things. You might want to do something else.
Oh, and that's a great point too. See, I can't say Destro. You're both Destro.
I'm Mark.
Mike and Mark and all this stuff. But no, great point, Mark, because here's the thing. Him leaving now, like, and we'll talk legacy too, as well as what we're gonna do on Wednesday. But like, if he leaves now and he leaves behind a year and a half of figures, he could feel complete. Like, we were like, oh, he just did the dinosaur. We're still missing these figures. He might have already designed them. They're just not. They're not sculpted yet. They're not molded. They're not packaged. They're not just all that stuff. But his designs could be done. We just don't have the secret notebook. I mean, you do. Right. Yeah. Sometimes you do.
Sometimes.
You do. But yeah, a little bit. But you'll have a few months, but you don't have like another year past that, or 6 months, or whatever else he's got with ideas. So there's a lot of stuff coming out that he could feel complete. It doesn't, you know what I mean? So we don't even know what else he has left that's coming to the line. You know what I mean? So source, and well, what I'm trying to say is, like, we see him leave the line. It's like, why now? It's like, because the future, the stuff that we don't see, he could feel complete. Like, he's hit a pinnacle. Like, I'm happy leaving with this. Like, maybe it's the next HasLab, the Thunder Machine, all this other cool stuff we haven't seen that he helped design, right? Or he designed. Yeah. So that, I think that if you add that, then it makes sense. Okay, why would Lenny stay beyond this? He's done it all. We haven't seen it all yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And the one thing too, everybody that, I mean, you've never heard a single person say that they left Hasbro and was like, oh, I loved it there. It's usually, and to be in a place that's so renowned for sucking. I mean, just ask anybody who's done anything for 20 years straight. They're sick of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even if you were started out loving being an electrician or like a plumber, 20 years into it, you're just like, you got the days counting down to retirement. You don't even care. Just get me out of here. And even if it's something you're passionate about, like G.I. Joe, it's like, just like you said, you get burnt out on shit for sure.
Well, I tell you, because I live in Rhode Island, so I live near Hasbro. And I know probably 20, 30 people who work there. Although most of my guys, because I think you and I, Travis, both work in film stuff. You're in, I do like more indie stuff. But being in film, there's like a cake mix studio where they used to do like all their in-house commercials. They used to make a lot of content. And so I knew like about 20 people who worked there who were like compositors, digital effects artists. I never heard a person not complain. So I don't know, but it's like anything. I thought, frankly, isn't most corporate culture kind of blows in my experience, kind of blows. So
for sure.
80s Joe says I should apply for the job. Well, the problem with that is I have no experience and I don't have any design abilities, but I do know G.I. Joe, I guess. But those are kind of
and as far as that, they're cut. You got to think about corporate culture. Even if you're a great consultant, which I know you guys would be, right? And then shout out to like Airborne Customs, who actually was an airborne trooper and loves G.I. Joe, and he's in the past worked with Hasbro as a consultant. They're cutting all that out, right? All this corporate stuff, they're cutting everything they can. So why does the gun look like this? It's sci-fi and it's not realistic. It's because the consultant, there's no consultant. They can't pay. They're not going to pay any more contractors, consultants, stuff like that. So I think trying to bring someone in who maybe doesn't have to be military, but brings that edge. Like, Lenny didn't know the military stuff that great, but he brought in like sci-fi fantasy and he did his research. He might have been limited in the research, but he did like, guy worked hard. And like he always had like an engineering reason.
Right.
And even if it didn't, even when I review it and I'm like, man, the functionality sucks. That wasn't his intent. That could have just happened in the factory. That could have happened along the way. You know, there's so many steps, as we know, making figures. So it's like I loved like the angle he brought, and I loved what Destro Design says, because the next person could bring a different angle in. It doesn't mean they're better than Lenny. They could just bring in a different angle. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're not sci-fi fantasy worked on Transformers like Lenny. It could be a whole nother. Maybe it is a military guy. You know, like who knows? Maybe he comes from who knows, like pro wrestling or something. Like we don't know the angle that this designer. The next designer is going to come in and bring like new flavor and new love to the line. And maybe we'll see some cool stuff beyond what, like just different. It doesn't have to be better or worse. It could just be different and cool.
Yeah. You know what I would take, which would be like different, but not better. Cause I really think he's pretty great. I think he was a great designer. Like I really love
Lenny. We're talking about
Lenny. I loved it. I thought his work was amazing. Like, nothing. But I would like somebody who loves the comic book, because it didn't get the sense that he loved the comic book. I got a sense that he's the cartoon guy, and I'm more of a comic. What about you? Are you did you read the comics? Were you a comic guy?
What about Travis? You, Mike?
So no, actually, not really until a little bit later. And then unfortunately, I'm not anywhere near as versed as I should be. I've since bought compendiums so I can catch up. I started reading through there. I actually feel like it'll help me with my toy photography better, of having the backstory, which is why, just as you're saying, Mark, that bringing somebody in that maybe is in tune with the comic books, I like that idea. I think it broadens the horizon on how many figures that we can do, right? And it also adds character. Like Shockwave, who's one of my favorites, right, is never in the show. I mean, I think he's in DIC, but that's not nobody cares.
He's horrible in
it. Right. It's awful.
The drug episode, he's terrible.
Right. Oh God, Jesus. Yeah, I don't even think he's like the original version. I think he's that version 3 in that or whatever. But anyway, like Shockwave's already done, so maybe that's not the best example, but figures like that can now have like somebody that's looking at it, what they're going to design is coming from all that extra content that's in the comic book, as opposed to just from the figure or just from the cartoon. I think that would be important. Like I said, because it's for the same reason that I do think I'm reading catching up through the compendiums, and then my brother Evan had sent me a bunch of the newer comics, and just so I can I think that if you have the whole story, you'll be setting up figures and making dioramas and pictures better than just because you got that story.
I want to address it in the chat. Heroes for Hire Comic Club is on, and we're going to have from the Heroes for Hire on to talk about the comic book actually soon. So we're talking about characters that we can get for the comic book. I was on his show maybe a month ago. I want to say it was maybe it was a little while ago, but I don't know. What about Travis? Are you a comic book fan?
I just wanted to defer to Michael because I had already went on a long rant, so I wanted to hear someone else talk. The comics are everything, and that's why I didn't back any of the new stuff, the new Kickstarters for all the Skybound stuff.
Yeah, neither did I.
I read it. Yeah. I got it digitally. I don't have any room to put that. All that stuff's beautiful, by the way. Shout out to Skybound. Shout out to Diane and Dave and everybody else working on that stuff. I wish I had $500 I could just throw at it, and I had to not. I wasn't able to back either one, but I've read all the comics and the Devils Do stuff, and I think that's a great angle. Another great point, because with Energon being the only media right now for G.I. Joe, bringing in a comic person who can design toys, that's perfect synergy, because there's a lot of people that want to see the Energon stuff. That stuff's more popular than we think, right? Because it's a comic. A lot of people comics aren't a very popular part of media, but in the comic world, those are high-selling comics. The Transformers, Void Rivals, G.I. Joe, the Sky. You got Robert Kirkman on there. You want turn on the TV, his shows are on, right? Like Invincible and everything. So, Walking Dead. So, it's massive, and I think bringing in someone who has a love for the lore of comics, but as long as they can design toys, that's
of course,
big. Or at least because there's a lot more than just draw. That's why everyone's like, "Oh, is AI bothering Lenny?" It's like, no, you still have to draw a character that functions.
Right.
AI on a thumbnails because it's easy and it looks cool, but like when you design the actual figure, it has to have functionality as a 1/12 scale figure. You can't just do an AI slop. Like, here's my figure, and that has nothing to do with Lenny like leaving or anything like that. That's a totally different part of art. So bringing in a comic person would be cool, but they still have to design the toy. They can't just design a comic book character.
Yeah. Well, we got Serpentor's Lair here. Oh, nice, very nice. They're going to transition. I just kind of saying what you're saying. They're going to transition to the upcoming TV series. Yeah, because once that TV series hits, G.I. Joe could go like quadruple in fandom. And we also got a very nice super chat from Riptide O'Leary. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my boy Riptide. What's up, brother? See a bunch of names in here. Or Skizio, Evil Dookie in the house. What's up, brothers? Pop Frenzy.
Let's see. Yeah, we got a bunch of people.
Alice.
Now, I think the comic book, because the comic book was already created a couple like real bangers of characters, like Chameleon, that Chameleon girl, which is sort of a take on another character. She's really a new character though, because she's got like power. You know, she got a real new look, and then they also have the Risk. Yeah, I love Risk.
Risk is cool. MMA dude in a suit. that could go so many ways.
Yeah,
you can make him in MMA gear, him in like the suit with the shoddy, and like, you know, it's great. It has like a landman Yellowstone feel to it too, and he you know what I mean? Because he's not a cowboy, but just that kind of aesthetic with like the suit, but he's still gonna like go to some office and knock some guy out. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. I think Joshua Williamson and that whole team are they're murdering it with those comics. They're addicting. Like that's like the first thing I do on Wednesday is if they have the comic, I read it. Like, you know, and it's crazy. So hopefully, I think they already tipped off that Duke's coming, right? With the rugged Duke. Lenny said that's why Lenny left, by the way. He got fired for tipping off the rugged Duke thing. He spilled it. You heard it here first. No. But that was cool. I was like, yeah, we're getting Energon Duke. So I think it's gonna be exciting getting the Energon characters on the line too. So
yeah, so some people, Serpentor's Lair says Serpentor is your spirit animal. That makes you very, very messed up, man. You got lots of
that Simsa? He's a Simsa, man.
I think definitely that could be an incredible take. I'd be so into it, but I'm like really excited to see what that cartoon does. It's gonna like introduce a whole new generation, because if it's R-rated, it's like Invincible's huge. Like I'm a high school teacher, so I have people talking to me all the time about Jace, another very excellent. Wow, this is most super chats I think we ever got. Just two. So right. It's all about you, Travis.
Because I don't want Fresh Monkey hating me over this review. Because it's positive. And a lot of people are like, I'm canceling, I'm not sure. I'm like, there's 8 figures there because a couple wolf heads were not painted to the expertise of OMF figures. You're just gonna dump the whole line. I mean, who are really buying the Crimson Moon for Wolf? No offense to what Operation Monster Force doing, but we're buying it for Red Shadows, right?
Yeah. Right.
Just to fit in. Go ahead, sorry.
I was saying, just to clarify, and that same gentleman says, DD, I didn't realize that the Oracle set was you. So I didn't make that. I just did the promo shots for it for my brother Matt from Mo's Mind Custom Design on Etsy. You can find that over there. Use Destro Designs 10, get your 10% off when you go over there for sure. I didn't make that. That Matt is the genius. He made the Atlas and all this other awesome stuff. Like I just do his promo. Yeah, great guy too.
Melted Copper says $50. Disma is taking the clown's daughter to Olive Garden tonight, man. I could probably take it to Olive Garden for that. Now I drink a lot, so
Just one thing I wanted to add though about the Crimson Moon is that the figures fit in really well with Classified. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, I get that that not Crimson Commander dude, the Order of the Crimson Moon.
Yeah.
He fits in right. Well to all the Crimson guys, like perfectly. Like just get them, and if you're not happy with the wolf heads, like put them in your class. Because they made the paint so basic in retro, they fit in with Classified, where OMF with all that extra weathering and all that, it doesn't fit in at all. So that's a major benefit that I waited till the feedback to really address it. I should have did it in the review because I want to like let people know that this is important. It fits in with Classified. it might not be the quality of Operation Monster Force, but it's better to fit in and with classified than OMF, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I haven't bought them yet, but I've definitely considered. Baron Ironblood is your spirit animal. Very nice, very nice.
DIMSA.
Yeah, yes, I've become. Very nice. Okay, let's see. So somebody was mentioning in the chat, Lenny, why they think he left. And so one thing that it isn't over the move, and here's why: because Boss Fight Studios is in Norwood, Mass.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, but you live there now, so explain.
Yeah, Norwood's about 10 minutes from Boston. It's about a 10-minute ride. Now, granted, the 10-minute ride might be a half an hour, in Boston traffic because it blows. Boston traffic sucks. As Travis, you grew up here, right? You grew up in Boston.
I grew up an hour south of Boston and 30 minutes south of 20 minutes from Pawtucket, where Hasbro is.
Yeah.
So Norwood from Pawtucket is 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? 30, maybe 40.
Right.
You try going to Boston, unless it's, middle of the night, maybe middle of the day, like noon or something. You go there, it's going to be an hour and 15 minutes. That's a significant jump. A half-hour commute or an hour commute every day is or even 3 times a week, which these guys probably do. They probably don't go every day. Still a significant. But we're not even forget the commute. I'm sure Lenny could deal with traffic. It's the cost of Boston. The cost, even if he has to move to Norwood, that's nothing compared to living outside of Boston. You know what I mean? Like right outside of Boston or in Boston.
Well, you're screwed. You can't live in Norwood. It's like super expensive. It's ridiculous.
I'm sure that's expensive too, but he's going to commute from Rhode Island. It's not going to be that bad. And who's to say when is he going to have to drive to Boss Fight once a month for a meeting? He's probably going to work from home and stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, the other thing is you can take the train. You're more likely don't necessarily.
He's a designer though. He's not an engineer. He doesn't have to go to a facility.
Maybe unless Hasbro's being a dick and wants him to, in person. You never know.
Well, I'm talking about Boss Fight. Yeah. Hasbro, there's probably a lot more meetings, a lot more, it's a bigger company. So
Paul Morales is doing God's work here, telling us who's
always.
arrived.
Always.
I think I think it can't be the move. I don't think that can be it. I think
I think that's a significant thing. Boston compared to because
Norwood is too close to Boston. No.
Yeah, but you might not. But you might not have to go to Norwood that much compared to Boston.
That's true. Thank you again. Another super chat. Thanks a lot. I would say though. Is Boston crazy expensive like California? It's ridiculous. Boston is
it's like New York City,
probably as expensive as California. Yeah. But I don't know. Well, you live in California, you would know, right? Is it as expensive?
Well, the thing with California is a lot of people are gig workers here. So we were, we'll make all our money in one chunk. Boston is a 9 to 5. You're either a construction worker or an office worker, a teacher, a lawyer. Like we don't have that here. We're like artists, right? Like there's very few people who have a real 9 to 5. We are artists. We travel for work. We do all this. So, and then you can kind of like roommates is a real thing. Like my cousin owned 2 houses and had roommates his whole life. And he owned 2 houses because that's a California, like in Boston, if you're over 21, you're like, why do you have a roommate? That's weird. Yeah. Like it's a different world. In California, you can like have 2 roommates and be rich. It's just normal. Like it's a different lifestyle. Like it doesn't matter, but like Boston's just a different life. It's more of a family-driven 9 to 5 life. California is just crazy. You can have a bunch of people living in your house, and you can travel, and work all kind of gigs. It's different. So the expensive part doesn't really come in California where it does in Boston because you're expected to have a 9 to 5 and live on your own. It's a different world.
John D. Green says, "I feared Lenny left because he has ideas for a new line." That might be it, honestly. Hasbro just isn't a fit for that more freedom to build his new story. If you look up the one thing about Boss Fight that kind of, I don't know, they don't have like a significant thing that like makes me go like, oh my god, that's so exciting to watch Lenny work on it. So we can only think that he's probably going to create something, or they're working on something because they don't have they have like the hacks, right? That's like their thing. From what I understand, they have like Red Sonja, they have the hacks. They don't have like a huge thing that's like really massive at the moment. So maybe they're gonna make that. Maybe they
have you seen his other page Lenny's other page of his other designs is non-GI Joe stuff.
No,
a lot of
no.
that stuff fits in with that, like again, that fantasy, that Motu, Red Sonja.
Okay, I can see that. He's pretty good at that.
Like
Yeah.
he's into that stuff, and so it might fit. But I think you're right. I think he's there to create, especially with Corey leaving like a day before. Like that's
Crazy.
not by coincidence. Like there's something. They're up to something. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I believe so too. Serpentor's Lair brought up a good point about RA Range just dropped an article over there. I've got an article about 1985 dropping tomorrow morning. And yeah, I didn't know that if you knew that, Mark, but I hooked RA up with him. And I think,
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He wrote something about Star Trek. And then I think the next one's about Transformers, something like that. Yeah. Right in front.
Put it nice. Well, yeah, I guess that's kind of a good transition to talk about what we're talking about here, right? Which is, I feel like I should live in LA because I have 5 jobs.
right.
I have 5 jobs. Although I have a 9 to 5.
You live in Orange County, bro. That don't even count. That's a different.
Yeah.
We're talking. Los Angeles is the most spread out freaking city in the whole country, dude. It's
insane. So the city that I live in, which is basically, it's in upstate New York, is considered one of the largest in the nation because of just how spread out it is. It doesn't mean it's nowhere near the most populated, but it literally stretches over like multiple it's crazy. And and when I look at a map, and LA is even like 4 of those put together, and it's chock full of shit most of the time. It is nuts out there.
Yeah, so let's talk about
hilarious though. Like the suburbs are not even. That's a whole nother county. That's like someone talking something about New York City and living in Buffalo. Like, you know what I mean? It's like so weird. But anyway, love you, Chaz. Miss you. But yeah.
Nice. Let's talk about So basically, these are the I think that this is the first figure that Lenny created, or I don't know if it's only Lenny. I guess we could say it's probably a combination of people who created it, but primarily it would be Lenny, right? So this is what we're here to talk about, and the first one is this one, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but Wolf Spider, right, is the first fully classified created character, from what I understand. What are your thoughts on this here?
It's my favorite. I absolutely love that figure to death. So when we did our favorites with Yojo reviews, we all unanimously said that the Cobra Island Major Blood is the best figure that they made. That's just, we all 100% on that. But when we broke it up to Cobras and Joes, and now don't get me wrong, I was trying to, also for the show, make the pick that I didn't think anybody else was going to pick. But I truly do love this as right up there with number 1. Of course, there's other figures, some of the tried and true, the beachheads, this and that, the other thing. But when I'm looking at it strictly from taking my personal, how much I love like the 3 3/4 or whatever, and I step back and I look, dude, the helmet that it comes with the flip down night vision, the backpack, they got the little bit of color on that. It comes with a little bit of rope, which really hit the kid in me, right? That's not really useful for anything other than wrap it around his hand and maybe something else. But it's just cool that he got it. The weapons is what it is, but it's just everything about the figure, top to bottom. It's a 10 out of 10, no notes. It hits like when I was a kid and you'd find, the first time you saw like the Commando Snake Eyes, the version 1, and you hadn't seen anything like that, and this, for whatever reason, just had the exact everything I was looking for, and it sucks that they're like $50 a piece now, because I would get a bunch more. But yeah, I absolutely love that figure.
What are your thoughts, Travis?
Parth Vama. It's one of the few figures I got to review early, back when I had a Connect in China that went crazy on me. Parth Vama is, man, I can't disagree. The only reason I wouldn't give him, and I didn't give him a 10 out of 10, is that we didn't get a face sculpt. You're trying to create new characters, or you are creating new characters, but a lot of them have a common theme besides like Sundown and maybe a couple others, but like they don't have faces. They just have it's easier to be like, this is a new character, but we're using reused head or like, like a balaclava or whatever. Like, we don't have the face, and we get this whole story, right? Like, he's the second ever Coast Guard character besides Cutter.
Yeah.
Shout out to Boston right there. Well, he's from Kansas.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, second ever Coast Guard character. Like his family was full of like what doctors, and then he was like a airborne medic. You know, like all that, like aviation medic or whatever. It's such a great story. Military, who everybody wants out of the military, bro, certified. And then you don't give us a face, man. Like if there's a reason for it, like Snake Eyes or story, you know, like no face. Like that was a blown opportunity, and it probably, again, if you ask Lenny, I'm sure he's gonna say, "What was the budget?" Right? That's the answer to everything we don't like about the line. It's always like we only have so much budget for this, and we couldn't make a sculpt because then he would, instead of $25, he's 30. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. You're giving this whole guy life, and we can't see his face, and there's no reason why we don't see his face. Other than that, it's a banger.
Agreed, 100%. You know, it's like the other thing is he's like the only Indian character, right? So, which is like, I think it's cool because you know, one of those things that I thought was cool as a kid is like you could basically see yourself or your dad, no matter what you know background you had. You had a guy that kind of looked like your dad or your uncle or whatever, or you, but not an Indian guy. You know, so I think that's cool that you know they expand it. I'm all for that. So you're right. Then it would have been cool to see what the face sculpt would have been. So Petra's Lair says, please give us a digital file card. They are giving us a digital file card, I believe, correct? We are now getting digial file cards.
But there's no home for it, though.
There's no home for it.
Which like on the QR code, just go to how expensive is it to have a blog? We all have blogs. We've all had blogs. GoDaddy, it costs nothing, right? Especially for $1 billion. Have G.I. Joe. Maybe we can see some of those sketches. Maybe we can see some of these file cards for these newer characters. I don't understand it, but yeah. Anyway, it's cool that they're giving us something though. You and I talked about that on the last night.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is they have the stupid QR code that goes to the website that tells you the codes of their like action features, which no one cares about and no one has used in the history of this entire line. And I don't even know if it still works. Honestly, it probably does. I think it probably
it doesn't. It goes to nowhere.
But they could do the same. You know what? They all do exist on Mark Beasley's Instagram, though. Who's the guy that writes all the he writes all of it, right? I think he posts them all. But that's not a good. I'm not saying that's a good, like, that's a terrible that's an absolute horrible solution. You know what I mean? That's a stupid solution.
Right.
But I think that if you want to see them, if you find Mark Beasley's Instagram, and I have it somewhere, I don't know why now I'm trying to look at it. Well, I got it here, and now I can't find it, of course. But because he and I have been talking, I've been talking about him to him. I'm gonna interview him about all the stuff, but I'm waiting because he said he'd interview Chris from Full Force.
Is that you or me?
Well, me? What's happening?
What's good?
I don't hear it. Is there something wrong? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, brother.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So
was that him or my? Who was that? You like messing up like the camera, or was that me?
That was you. It looks fine from. I didn't see it.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's good. But yeah, so I've been trying to get an interview with him. He said he's going to do it, but I'm waiting for to get the okay from Hasbro, and he also is supposed to do an interview with Chris from Full Force, and I don't want to be like a dick and like jump Chris in line because I love Chris, love the Full Force, you know, it's great stuff. But yeah, I believe if you look at Mark Beasley's Instagram, you're gonna find it. I'll actually put it in the chat if anybody's interested, just so you know that you can find a lot of these things here in his Instagram. He's the guy that writes, and he pretty much has been, I think, for a while. He's been pretty much writing the lore for at least a few years anyway. So
what up, Toyomi?
So yeah, so I love this guy. He's great. I actually just got him recently because I didn't get him originally because I was like, at the time I was like, well, it's not my priority to get a character I don't know. And I think, you know what, I probably would have been more likely to get him right away if he had that head sculpt, because it's like he to me is like there's too many characters that just have the face, but got him, and he's amazing. He's great.
Yeah.
All right, next character. This is one of the. What do you think in the chat? Feel free to jump in on your feelings on Wolf Spider. All right, three side Eddie Theory 524 says top 3 classified. Wow, he's getting high ratings, man. That's a
Nice.
lot.
Yeah. A lot of people sharing their love for like I am also a sucker for that balaclava. I do think Travis makes a good point that if you're trying to shoehorn in a new character at this point, a face would really help establish the character. Because Kalel327 brought up, but he was like, Beachhead doesn't have a face, and he's a great character. Well, that's because we had the comic book and the Sumbo cartoon and the movie to develop that character. Right? We didn't need to see his face because we got all this other, he's always yelling at everybody. You knew what that face looked like. It was a scowl. You didn't need to see that to know that, right? And I think that's the difference there.
Yeah, the face helps more connect. I think it's good, but once you've done it with Beachhead, I think you can move on. I think.
Well, I think the key is he's the first, like Mark said, he's the first Indian character in the line. So to just give him a balaclava kind of cheapens that. If he's another Caucasian guy, then fuck him. Keep his mask on. I don't want to see him. But you're giving a new culture, a new identity, a new race, whatever. Like let's see the dude. You know what I mean?
Well, I said this. I said the same thing about like when they did that Salvo character over, and they were like, "Oh, we're just trying to give representation." Well, we'll let her stand on her own thing. Let her represent herself instead of saying, "Oh, we want to represent this type of character, but it's not good enough to stand on its own. We have to use the." Everybody loves Salvo. We'll build a character off of that. I feel like that's cheapening the person you're trying to represent there. They could just, here's what this person looks like, and here's what, she's also has a rocket launcher or something like that. I think you could do that, and it would be better for the person you're trying to represent. 100%.
Hello, Laser Pants is here. Oh, hi, Mark.
What's up,
brother? Let's see. Yeah, thanks for the Mark Beasley Insta. That's pretty good. It's pretty great. Nice guy. I've been talking to him a little bit. But looks like he makes street food with his feet. I don't know what that means, dude.
Oh God.
I'm not sure I know what that means. Beachhead, I'm kind of okay with the Beachhead. Yeah, Beachhead would be the one that we keep with the mask on. I think that does make sense because he does have that mystery. But I feel like, the one that really missed it with was barbecue. I really wanted that ginger head. I really wanted to see his the alt ginger head.
And he's in like the Sumbo cartoon, he's got his mask off a lot, right? There's a lot of scenes where
you can't live in that mask. That's an uncomfortable ass mask.
You're not walking around the HQ with that. Come on, you're killing me.
All right, let's talk about the next one here. We get evening, everyone. Hello, Alex. We got the Valkyries, which are basically, although they are just female Cobra soldiers, I feel like they're kind of a classified invention, right?
I wrote it down on my list. I wasn't 100% sure if they popped up in the comics somewhere. I love them. I think they're awesome. My only complaint is that tan webbing on the one. I don't know. I mean, some people, if having the difference is you like that, cool. By all means, enjoy it. I freaking hate it. I want that webbing to be black like the other one. I don't know why. It just looks ridiculous to me.
It's a callback to the 25th anniversary line, I think, right? Didn't they do that in the 25th anniversary line? But yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's not. It's I don't know. It's not a great look.
I think that'll be one of my first dye projects. I got that special synthetic dye, and I've got a bunch of inexpensive Tiger Force Dusty figures, and I'm just going to experiment with trying to dye some stuff black and see what happens. And I think that web gear I'll throw right in there for sure.
Yeah, Tony's Block says now we know Mark is a ginger kink. Hey, who doesn't, right? I don't have a ginger man kink, but yeah. Although, whatever. Barbecue is a flaming ginger, but probably not gay. Hey, 5% of the population, man, you're going to toss up. If there's 300, 200 characters in G.I. Joe, that means it's 10 of them are gay, right? Just by doing the math.
Right.
Put them all in the pit for too long with only 3 women, and it's probably going to be more like 20.
Right.
Gay for half hour, anyway, as men tend to do when they're in a place with no women.
Talking in and out.
What do you think of you're a fan of the Valkyries, Travis?
Well, yeah. So a couple of things. So about that desert gear, at first I was like, that's weird. But if you mix it with the black gear, it's sick. So if you take the black backpack and put the tan guns on there, and you kind of you use the black guns with the holster, the tan holster, really works really well, and it allows the figures to actually pop. And then being new to the line or whatever, right? Like you want them to pop in your shelves. You don't want to like just another Cobra soldier. So they get in the helmets look different, and actually they have a major presence in the comics. They've been pretty prevalent in the modern day comics. So not
or the
like the Energon or a Real American Hero. They've been in the comics. So like believe it's Energon actually. Not the Real American, not the Larry Hama stuff, but the Energon, they've been all over it. So they had covers, variant covers and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of cool that they, the Energon has taken the classified lines and vice versa and used some of these newer designs made by Hasbro and thrown them in the comic too. So that's pretty cool. Maybe to spread that, hey, we got new designs, updated designs of these characters from 50 years ago, 40 years ago. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Three Side Theater said Valkyries in their head, your head canon, they're complete psychopaths. Agreed. Because you think about a girl who joins Cobra, like men are naturally aggressive and violent, right? So we know that like we're just naturally more prone to do things like pick up a gun and go fight a war or whatever. And a woman, it's like it's not unheard of, but it's certainly less likely. And then a woman who joins a terrorist organization, that bitch be crazy.
Oh, way crazier than a male.
Yes.
For sure. I think
I'd have to agree.
One of the issues too with classified line bringing on retro is like you look at that backpack set up in that image, and that's such a retro thing to have like the funky colored weapons match and everything, like like almost like on a, what were those things called? Like you just pull apart the weapons off the plastic tray.
The weapon tree,
weapon tree. There you go. So like, but these are classified figures, not retro. So I think that was, and again, it's budget. So due to budget, we just all had them painted the same thing instead of giving it some weathering and some grays and some OD stuff. It's kind of, that's where it's a misstep. But if you mix and match, it's not too bad.
Yeah. Chaz says it's not gay if you're giving. I think I'm gonna disagree with
such theories.
What did I sign up for tonight, guys?
It's pretty much always like this. I think it's not gay if you're just living in the pit for 3 months and it's all you got. That's all I'm saying. That's well, just another jerk. Okay, wait. Oh yeah, okay.
What's up, brother?
Davina, I think the Cobra Night Stalker commander might be the first. Yeah, they had like Night Stalkers. But they all dressed in black, so there's slightly different than the Valkyries. But yeah, they were kind of predated the Valkyries. The Valkyries are cool though. I think I love the name. It's just a cool squad of just psycho women.
I like to throw them in a claw. Yeah, but claw pilot. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about because I think that's an invention. But I like having them in a claw because it really like lends itself to the term Valkyrie. Like something flying from the sky. Coming down, raining death. They're obviously psycho. You're going to need a psycho to strap yourself to the bottom of a flying bomb, practically. You know what I mean? All wide open like that. You'd think you'd ride on the top of it. So at least when they're shooting at you from the ground, you can have some sort of, but no, you know how Cobra does it. They put them right out there like that. And I like the Cobra Claw pilots in my snake armors and the Valkyries in the Cobra Claws. I think that looks awesome.
Melts Cop says, ladies are crazy. The first book of the Bible, they ruin everything for everyone. Exactly. So
right.
They need to make Lorena Bobbitt the head Valkyrie. Well, there you go. This is a good one. Just
honorary member.
Just wait till Travis, you find out about the dump truck Scarlet and the woods porn. Bring up once. Keeps coming back. I don't even know if I was the one who brought it up. Do you ever find any woods porn when you were a kid, Travis? You lived in Massachusetts. You found some wood porn.
A lot of wood porn. Yeah, for sure. We grew up on that.
It's undeniable. It's undeniable. Everybody found it. Right.
Let's fold in the conversation about the other women. So I didn't actually grab images of because I thought they're to me they're like not characters. Even though they do, they're kind of the pilots and drivers because they're pretty much just Valkyries, right? They might have names that are different, but
like Trench Viper, that's never been a thing, but it's just a repaint of the Alley Viper.
It's
right? So it's like he looks dope. It's like a urban, not urban camo, but urban colored night, Alley Viper. So yeah, they call it Trench. They gave a lot of stuff cool names. Doesn't mean they're new, right?
Yeah, they're not new. Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
it's basically the same figure, right? The one in the claw is exactly the same figure.
Right.
The one in the ferret is slightly different, right?
Yeah, some pieces there are new, but
The one in the
again,
claw.
it's not very interesting in any way.
But they didn't expand on it with like I mean, even if they have a file card, they're not that intense with it. Like the wolf part of Val Palmer thing is like hey, we're making a new character. The other ones are like, hey, by the way, the Trench Viper is his duty is this. He's called upon because of this. It's not like, years of training in China, and like now he was a lawyer, and then Cobra Commander called him, and and he knows 17 different languages. We don't have all this stuff for the pilots and drivers.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So it's like they're not new characters; they're just repaints.
I agree. Wait, G.I. Joe guy says had a few chuds on Twitter arguing that female CG should not exist because they weren't in the cartoon. Yeah, they were the comic book, man. The comic book's way more important than the cartoon, and that's to me like the lore comes from the comic book primarily, and then the cartoon secondarily, or figures, maybe the figures, then the comic book, then the cartoon. So yeah, there's always been females. There were female Vipers and female troopers too, and always in the cartoon, always. There's always
definitely. Definitely.
So, there was you have CoverGirl Jay and Scarlet, why can't you have the opposite for Cobra? They don't, you know what I mean? Like, that logic never made sense to not have female join Cobra when you have these great female characters in G.I. Joe from the beginning. It's not like, hey, let's come out with some females for G.I. Joe because we have to address. No, they were there in day one. You know what I mean? Like, you got it for day one. So, yeah.
They're the most diverse toy line in every possible way. Like there's no
on day one.
Anybody else?
It was this is what we think. Day one. There's no
Scarlet's like the first Joe you see in that scene when the very beginning. Now it's like she flies up and Duke's like, I'm gonna kick the mustard out of that crazy hot dog, and who gets out of the Sky Tracker? It's Scarlet.
Now we know there's a very famous female trooper in the episode where I think Layla, her name is, right? And the reason why we know her name is Layla is because our friend Anchor Viper has a real doll dressed up like, and by the real doll, I mean, a human-sized sex doll dressed like Layla in a custom-made Cobra suit. So,
we saw it. It was in the stream.
She's like, oh, I've got a doll there. I'm like, oh, can you bring it to the camera? She's like, no, it weighs 120 pounds. I'm like, what? Because from the perspective, it looks like it's been like I don't know.
Like Scott's comment right there. I think he nailed it.
I see a couple of my brothers popping up in the chat. The Bearded Sumo is here. G.I. Joe guy. Yeah, there we go. What's up, comrade? What's up, my brothers?
Yeah.
Remember Destro getting hell from the Baroness for flirting with? Yeah, I think that's Layla. I think that, and that's one where he's like, yeah, the Baroness. He plays off his relationship there.
Right. Something in her eye too.
You want a Layla with removable pants from the cartoon? Yeah, because there's one frame when they just forgot to paint pants on her. Anyway,
forgot.
But yeah, I think we can pass by the other female drivers because they're just the same thing. They're basically the same exact thing.
Put your pants on.
Yeah. She's a super freak Viper. Melty Copper says, oh great, robots are replacing us. I thought only dudes shagged robots. Yeah, man, I don't know if she's shagging it, but who knows. Let's get into our next one. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. It's very slow for some reason. I click on it. Okay, there we go. Love these things. The mole rats. I had to get a bunch of them. I got a few mole rats. Because you want one with the helmet and you want a couple without the helmet. Yeah, I mean, I just love these things. I think these things are great. What do you think, Travis?
I think it's fantastic. And they jumped on the Energon thing, right away with the Walmart. They were telling the story between Night Force and Energon, and then the Energon universe came out in the comics. I wish there was a little more synergy with that, and I think that's where the cartoon would have helped, having that, that there's a lot of comments on that cartoon coming up based on the Energon universe. And then you throw these guys, you have one episode on zombies, right? Because it's Robert Kirkman writing
Yeah,
this.
hell yeah.
Or even if he's the EP or whatever, right? He's on it. So you have him maybe write a Walking Dead episode of this with the mole rats, and you can have like all of them in there, and it's perfect because then you can tell that story. You can't really, it's hard to tell a story through action figures, especially when you don't have file cards physically to look at or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think like the intention of these is like amazing and they look great, but like that we don't get the story except for like what they tell us in the fan stream, and then immediately goes away because we just don't have any media tied to it. You know what I mean? The comics couldn't catch up and throw these in, but I think all intentions, the figure's amazing.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I actually love them. One of the first classifieds that I had got, and being a contractor, the fact that they come with that relatively accurate looking hammer drill tickles me to no end. Like I've actually planned. I built a whole just a behind the scenes. I'm going to have Cobra breaking into a factory, right? But they can't set off a bomb because it'll trigger alarms. They're just going to use this hammer drill to go through. I've already got the wall made where they're going to chip through the blocks. I'm going to put sound to it. I'm just going to record myself using my hammer drill and then put the sound to them breaking through this brick wall. To me, that is amazing playability, right? That's like I do factor in. Can I play with these fucking things? It's why I like shit like from Sys 3D Arsenal, because you can like play with it. Same Mo's Mine, all that secondary stuff. And to me, that was awesome. I think that the colors look amazing. They kind of go with, if you have like this weird like assault team that can like go and take stuff from a factory, like Alley Vipers, Frag Vipers, and Mole Rats, they all have that very similar style. I mean, the Alley Vipers are a little more bling bling.
Chicago Bears.
And the other two, yes,
Broncos.
Yes. Denver Broncos. Yeah, holy hell, that's a good call. And so I don't know. I like them as a group. Again, that's another figure that went up and got pretty pricey. I think I wound up with 4 of them. I made a couple trades to get, I think, the third and the fourth, because I didn't want to spend 50. That seemed like just a bit too much, but I wanted multiples, so I'm happy that I got the ones. I was very disappointed with the repaint.
Oh yeah.
I just don't.
We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
I just don't like the color. So
Scott Bob says, I'm pretty sure the Barons killed that trooper off screen too. Yes, absolutely.
You spelled torture wrong.
Her. I think we get a lot of people voting for the Mole Rats. They're okay. So we can jump right to the second Mole Rat, because it's not all that interesting to talk about. This color scheme is just absolute garbage, and I would only buy it to take the head of the second wave and put it on the other Mole Rat, because that's how bad I think that.
Sure.
It's like everything they did right with the first one, they got wrong with this stupid color scheme for me. I don't know.
I agree. I very much agree. And I don't know. I wish maybe if there was a reason, if they did it where the colors were like had more of like a burnt on effect, like the blast of energon when they got too close, it like warped the clothes a little bit, and the colors like are different now, like, and it something. Give me something other than here's a new head and a repaint, give me your money. That it just felt a little like that, which sometimes I don't care. You can take my money on some of the repaints, like a Crimson Alley Viper, sure, fine, take that money. But this was, I don't know, I didn't like it.
It's the Last of Us. Travis, did you buy these? You buy everything?
Well, I got one, and because of the Last of Us head, it looks like the clicker head. That's what I called it in my review, was that giant pink crystal head. It looks like a clicker. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the start of that whole, that we're gonna have. You guys got a lot of new stuff. We're gonna get a year of repaints. And then in between the repaints, we're getting like Rock Claw, we're getting Sundown. So we're getting some new stuff, but we're getting, if you notice, especially with the retro, we don't have to go too deep into it. It's not the topic of conversation, but last retro line was like pretty much 3 for 3 repaint repack. There's a few changes here and there, and then you get this character along with it, and then we got that 2-pack that's coming out with the Cobra Flight Trouble Bubble and the help me out here, the GI Joe version of the ferret, right?
Ferret.
Yeah. So that you got, it's like We're starting. I think 2026 is a lot of repaints, and this was kind of one of the
right out.
One of the startings of that. You know,
kick me out. Just kick me
But,
out, damn.
you know,
Then kick me out.
you bring up a great point, Travis, and I feel like they could have spread those out. Like we all know those are going to happen, right? They're going to be mixed in with stuff too, and that's fine. You know, it's and there is one thing about I will say about that retro wave that had like especially for the Techno Viper. One, the card art on those was finally right on these retros. I'll be buying them for the card collection if they keep doing that. You know that. So and also, I didn't think we needed the Retro Viper or the Retro Bat until I got them in hand, and I was like, oh, okay. For action shots, I prefer the mainline versions of these because it's the muted color.
Better than their last retro wave.
Yeah, their last retro wave.
Right. Oh, that's true. It's true.
So bad.
But I'm just saying, who knows when that Techno Viper shows up? You might wind up being as surprised as maybe with, you know, because I didn't think that bat was going to be that good, and then when it got in hand, I immediately ordered a second.
Well, here's
so,
is it okay if I ask you guys a question here? Not to,
of course, yeah.
Take charge of this, but I haven't been on the air in a little bit since I probably last talked to you. But no, do you think like all these repaints and stuff is maybe part of maybe it's a budget cut thing and maybe that affected Lenny thinking about leaving too, or am I just jumping way into it? Is that like a considerable thing? Like we're starting to see a lot, like you take that creativity part because yeah, we're getting those home runs. We're getting like the Deinonychus. We're getting the Sundown. We're getting some of the really cool new stuff. I mean, the Hydro Viper looks great. All these new figures are starting to get reviews and stuff. But it's like in between that, we're getting just dull stuff. And then Lenny goes online and like he reads it. It's going to affect you when your work gets reviewed or criticized. And it's not really, is Lenny the one making all those choices? Like we're going to just do a bunch of repaints. I don't believe so. You know what I mean? Like, so. I mean, that's got to wear you down after a while when then you got someone in your ear going, hey, come to my company and you can make what you want 100%. You can create what you want. You've been telling me about this new toy line for 3 years. Now you can make it like, and then where you're with Hasbro and like, this is the budget and you got to make so many copies of these other characters to fill in lines. That's got to wear you out. I don't know if it has anything to do with Lenny might be like, that you might brush that off, but do you guys think that could?
Totally. I definitely could be. I mean, yeah, that last retro wave, just not fun. That was, he could be frustrated. You know, I would imagine he probably is, probably was frustrated, but we don't know.
And well, being put out there as what is in essence kind of a figurehead in a way, right? When you're the lead designer, you're going to get shrapnel that's going to come your way, even if it's justified or not, right? Number one, that's just how the internet works, but also, you get people who look at something and then, who's the first name that comes to mind from the average person, right? That's, maybe they're not totally dialed in, but they like the G.I. Joes and they know who Lenny is because they've heard somebody say that name, Lenny. And it's the second they're displeased with something, I'm sure they also blame the top brass, but the first name otherwise out of that mouth is, Lenny. And I would get sick of hearing that after a while too. I can't imagine. I was going to say, I can't see how that doesn't play some form of factor. What level, I'm not sure, but it's definitely in play.
I will say this though. I saw a thread. I don't go on the His Tank forums often, but I did go on a thread where it was like Lenny leaves Joe. And I was curious what they think. It's different than Instagram. It's different than Facebook and stuff, the Facebook groups. And it was almost like I was shocked because it's a message forum. And we all remember message forums, how they've been over the last 20 years. Yeah. It was like 99.5 positive. Like I was shocked, like about like wishing Lenny the best. Thank you. He killed it and all that. I was like, it's a message form. I was expecting like a bunch of, dipshit stuff and stuff, but no, it was a lot of positive stuff. A lot of what we're talking about, a lot of stuff in the comments, like stuff about the family, stuff about the budget, stuff about different stuff. It was really cool to see like how much love he got in that community as well. Like a giant His Tank message forum community, which is always active, as well as social media. So it was really good to see him get that respect for all the work he's done. I mean, we're not doing this show right now if it's not for him.
Right, yeah. I love his stuff. I think he's, when he really got the freedom to be creative too, he would do some amazing shit. So yeah, Transporter 48 saying trying to move your family in the middle of Boston, thinking about how the rents and how expensive the area
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna lose a lot. I don't know why they did
forget
it.
about it.
It's really, other than Rhode Island's it's not a great place to run a business. Like Rhode Island tax law is horrible, but so is Boston. You know, so I'm sure it was a money issue, but whatever. Kind of sucks because as Rhode Island's like part of Rhode Island's identity. It's like we don't have much. We have a Family Guy,
Right.
and we got Hasbro. That's about it, you know.
Don't even have the Paw Sox anymore. So
No, we don't have the Paw Sox. We
They
got
got
nothing.
shit.
Yeah. We like glom on to all the Boston sports teams. This is lame, to do.
Lame.
So
Yeah.
all right. So here we go. This is a kit bash, but absolutely new characters. Well, I would say the Steel Corps Commander is really just a commander, but the Twilight Guard is new, right? So
Yeah, I don't think that popped up anywhere. I think the information about that is one of those digital file cards, but this is another one that I really, so I just hadn't seen many, people, not a lot of photographs of it, and I really I wasn't bowled over by that Steel Core Sentry, but what happened is like most of the time I see somebody does an awesome picture with that Twilight Guard, and I was like, you know what? That does look pretty awesome. And so I got one of them. I traded for one, and then I immediately was like, oh my God, I got to get more. And then they had that Ross pack hit where these were like $12.99. So if you find the right guy in the Facebook group, you could get a good trade. So now I have a couple of them, and surprisingly, when I opened that took the Steel Core Sentry out, I like that figure too. If you take those shoulder pads off, it actually looks a little better. Right. But it's pretty dope. But that Twilight Guard, man, I think with them soft goods, pretty melt.
Cal says Newport Creamery. Yes, Rhode Island also has Newport Creamery. Cal is, I think, from Rhode Island as well, right? And which I worked at in high school for 4 years. So there you go.
Hell of an Oreo sundae, let me tell you.
They do, right? It's really good.
Oh yeah. That's not a thing anymore, right? That's been gone for ages, right? Newport Creamery?
No. 100%.
It's still on?
Oh yeah, totally.
What?
110.
Well,
5 minutes from my house. Just one.
Oh, there was one in New Bedford that closed.
Oh, okay, yeah. I still go there all the time. It's really good.
Yeah. This pack, I think you mentioned file card. Wasn't the Twilight Guard the first character to really get one, or at least one of the first? Among the first to get a file card from Hasbro.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
Right, one of the first. I'm not saying he's the first, but like the first one, maybe we paid attention to because he was a new character, and I think we got a digital file card, but it wasn't as prevalent as the ones now. Another guy. I mean, you don't expect a face sculpt. It's just a Crimson Guard mask or whatever, but it is a new character, but it's just, it's a kit bash. It's cool that they did that with the new color scheme, very Halloween color scheme. And I don't need to army. I mean, I didn't army build it because they made him a significant character. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a good 2-pack. Yeah.
I don't remember the lore of him, but I feel like he's something like a guard, like he guards Cobra Commander or something. I don't know if anybody remember what the deal is. I do not remember it, but he's some sort of like elite guard that whatever.
Well, wasn't it supposed to be a redo of was it Shadow Guard or Shadow Viper?
Yes, I think so.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's one. Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
like a modern era take on the modern era version of the
which
Shadow.
Is basically a like black Crimson Guard repaint.
Someone in the comment.
That makes sense. Oh yeah, that's good. But they added the cape, I guess.
Halloween,
which really makes a difference. It really changes it. I think that's pretty great.
He is cool.
I feel like this whole set could be elevated through the roof if it didn't have the goofy colors, like the purple weapons. I just don't like it. The blue on the weapons. Yeah, the Steel Core Sentry has like the coolest weapons that they made for the line. That M60 and then those two other weapons that I think come with the Vipers. Those are actually pretty decent. They fit in the hands well. They shoulder nice, but that blue just doesn't even go. If like that color blue was on the figure, then I'd be like, fine. I don't know why I need it to match, but it just looks silly to me. There's a bunch of really, really good weapons there that just get, thrown out of the loop because I deal with the purple on the Twilight Guard with just the figures, but I'll be damned if I put that backpack
I'm
on.
trying to remember. Is the Steel Core? Is he the same like body as the other ones, where he's like this little tiny person? Yeah.
So yeah, if like so back when you could order the figure, right? When we were kids, you would mail it in and you would be you. You were it was supposed to be you were this guy coming. I believe like the like his vest with the knife placement and all of that is what that one looked like from back in the day. And then they just
I mean, when they came out, the
no,
set of the two of them, the girl and the boy, the man and the woman, Steel Core, they were
right.
tiny. They were like little
Yes.
people. They were like,
They were not
they really were in comparison to, this. They just were like really small.
Yeah, I didn't get that
it's
set.
a great set, except for the fact of how small they are, and it totally ruined it.
After this, didn't we start getting more realistic weapons though? I mean, after this phase, we like I feel like in the last because this one came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So like I'd say in the last year or so, year and a half, we've starting to get more realistic guns. They're never going to be as realistic as Gridiron or anything like that, or a Mark II design, because you can't legally, like, it's Hasbro. They have to go through legal. Right. They always talk about going through legal. Like if a gun looks too real and too realistic, they're not going to make it. That's why they add like scopes in the wrong places and handles that don't, that's why you get it chunky and funky and colorful, because these are kids' toys still on the box, right? Doesn't it say like 7 and up, 10 and up, 12 and up, whatever it is? It's a kid's age. It's not. This isn't 15, 16 and up. These are still kids' toys, even if 0 kids buy them.
Yeah.
Except for parents like us, like say we're parents and we love G.I. Joe and we buy them we get our kid into it. That's the only way. But yeah, I think that's always been tricky. And I think Lenny's done a good job trying to come up with cool stuff that might not make sense in the real world military, but makes it fun at least. And it's kind of his explanation of being like, I still want kids to have these, even if they're not, because we do work for a multi-billion-dollar corporation that is aimed at making toys for kids, even though we do know it's 50-year-olds buying these. Like, you know what I mean? It's like he's caught in that rock in a hard place. He did his best, I think.
Well, what kid's getting a 30? I have kids, right? And I go to the store. And it's like, hey, I'll buy you something. It isn't a $30 figure. You know what I mean? It's like it's usually like I like around 20, 21, 22, $30 figures rough. Although I have started buying my kids Savage Crucible shit. You buy any Savage Crucible stuff?
No, it's cool.
Stuff. That's very cool. Yeah. So we hear it looks like it is a different body. So maybe a little bit better. Okay. I didn't bother with this. I do have him. Somebody gave him to me, but I don't remember it. All right. Well, so I can't remember really the lore. It's kind of cool. Oh yeah, it's okay. But yeah, this is really a lot of the stuff is just a repaint, kit bash, whatever. So the next one again. I struggle to say if this is an actual new character, but it is new. I don't think they had an Iron Grenadier bat.
No.
Before, and at least they put the head in, so it looks different.
Yeah.
Right.
It's killer. It is. I don't know. It's at times when I look at. I mean, there's a bunch of the variants of the bat. I think they're all pretty good, but there's times when I'm looking at this one, I'm like, man, I feel like this one is the best variant. Because with that crazy face that they have just looks unreal. The gold looks so good. You stand it next to, like, especially once we get gold head Destro, the photography is going to be off the hook, which thank God that figure is great, because that price on that set is a little much. But I love these. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. What do you think, Travis?
I mean, that's again that inspiration that Lenny has, right? He took a bat, and then that mask that we got from the head sculpt from the Arctic bat. That creation is like you could see that in a He-Man cartoon. That helmet, right?
Yeah,
like the stuff we talked about, Savage Crucible, all that stuff. Like that's all the stuff that Lenny likes too on the side. So bring in those sci-fi fantasy, those real high fantasy, that's but mixed with sci-fi is kind of like his thing. And like other than Dreadnoks, like I think that's the stuff he really killed was like sci-fi fantasy bringing it in. And then I see the comment like they made some real guns because people complained so much they had to give us an M16 with. I think Big Ben was the start of like really good looking guns, and then Grunt had some good ones. They haven't nailed it. I still prefer to get third party on it, but you can't afford to have a $10 gun on every character
Oh.
either. So
No.
they started to make
But
better
boy, do I
guns
want to.
after a while, but they're never
Nope.
going to be 100% amazing.
Melts Cop says this is the
Yeah.
gold Trump bat.
Trump casino bat.
Yeah, that's why when Gridiron has them $5 deals, I just and if it's something that I like, I just try to buy like 10 of
Oh,
them real
yeah.
quick. And after a while, I've stocked up pretty good because I do big shoots where there's 40, 50, 60 figures in it sometimes, and I want them all to have something nice. You know, very rarely, like you said, there's not many figures that come with something I like. Rock and Rolls is the best example. I usually just let him have his, and I feel like the Range Viper's not bad, but no, just about everything else gets some kind of that wants something from Gridiron for sure.
Would have been good. Rock and Rolls would be great if it wasn't so freaking bendy. But that was the one where the bend is the worst because it's so long. Oh, I didn't get the new one.
Sure.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, the other thing is they could keep going with these bats, but I'm hoping they don't keep just reusing the Arctic bat head, and instead give them a different head or something. Because there's a headhunter bat in the. There was like at some point they came out with a headhunter, so they're going to do drug dealers. They can do drug dealer bats.
Right.
They don't do the same head over and over again. So right now we're in like, okay, these are all repaints pretty much. So I think when I first saw this, I was like, I don't even want this thing. I'm just like, it's a repaint of a figure I already got, or I didn't have at the time, and then that I wanted, so I was kind of pissed. Then I got him, and he lines up real nice as a backup. Like get 2 of those and 3 Range Vipers, and just get a squad, and they're like the machine gunner. Yeah, they're pretty great. It's a pretty great. That knife is good too. I think like one thing on Classified pisses me off is more than the guns is they give you a lot of dinky little knives, like tiny knives. You know what I mean? Like that aren't. And then I think they give you like nice. You want that nice like Rambo knife, style knife. Like Big Lob came with, or this guy came with a big nice,
nice knives.
Yeah,
Xandar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you?
The Copperhead, which is almost damn near a machete, is also pretty nice. The Grim Viper is one of a handful of figures that kind of like you said, Mark, is like, yeah, all right, I guess I'm gonna get one. It looks good enough for me. I'm gonna want one of them. And as soon as I got it, I ordered 2, and when they showed up, I immediately ordered 2 more. It's they have the Saw Viper vest, which is a different look than what the original Range Viper came with. So they did switch it up. And for whatever reason, like the Night Force Beachhead, all those colors separately, if you told me you were going to make a figure like that, I'd be like, no way. But when you look at it together, you're like, holy shit, this is really freaking awesome. It's like tied together by the brown webbing and whatever. And I feel like if you told me about this Grim Viper, I would have felt the same way.
Yeah.
I would have been like, dude, that's not going to be good. What are you talking about? And when you take it out for whatever reason, for me, I get it if the skull, the white skull head doesn't work for somebody. I think I understand that, but it looks really awesome. I don't know. Sometimes you can't put your exact finger on why. You're like, it just works for me. I think they're super cool. And like what I like is they don't really have. Like you can put them anywhere. If I stand them with my Horde of Python Patrol, they look like they fit in. I stand them. I put 4 of them around Darklon. Looked amazing. So they're diverse in that kind of a way. And I don't know. I think that they're pretty cool. I do wish, they would find a way to do the minigun different than the one that they've now beaten to death on a bunch of releases. But that looks fantastic.
What do you think, Travis? Were you a fan of this guy?
Well, the Range Viper got lots of love. It's one of the all-time best troopers.
Oh yeah.
I think top 20, top 10. I don't know what I ranked it, but this guy, they take the face sculpt of one of the most loved troopers, and then they made a kit bash. And what reminds me, I loved what you're talking about, Michael, because probably how they came up with this is how they came up with Deinonychus. So, the new dinosaur, how they made, like Lenny posted in his stories, how there's like 10 different versions, different colors. And they probably did this with that. They were like, hey, let's see what works. They probably made a 90s one looking like that Phase 2. That probably was a project. Let's come out the Phase 2 Morat, and if people buy it and love it, Stage 2, we'll do more 90s. People didn't like it, so we're probably not going to get a lot of neon 90s stuff now, right? So for this,
right,
even though it's Cobra, he's in G.I. Joe color scheme. You know, he's camo, OG green, all that stuff. So, he's kind of an undercover guy, but then he's got a massive gun. That's the silliness of G.I. Joe. He's the one guy that completely blend in, and then he's got this, Hail Mary gun right there that ruins it. But that's how stupid Cobra is, though. You think about it, like that's the root of Cobra is they come up with a good idea and they fuck themselves over with it, which is what this character is. So it's perfect for G.I. Joe. It's not perfect for Action Force or like some realistic military third party. This is for G.I. Joe. This is a perfect figure. Not meaning like it's the greatest figure of all time, but the thought process behind it. It's supposed to be so stupid because your leader is Cobra Commander.
Right. The biggest buffoon of all time.
Nice. They're put Grim Viper on ATV. Nice. That works. Somebody's asking, is there Trump stuff? There is no Trump stuff in classified. Yeah, it's just gold. He's just there. Yeah, just gold. It's Destro. Destro likes gold too.
Right.
He puts really referencing his love of gold, like Frank Red Hot. He puts that shit on everything, pretty much. All right. Speaking of the great kit bashes, I think this is probably the greatest kit bash of all time, which is a completely new character, and this is a new character too, which is great. This thing is I had to buy 5 of these.
Expensive.
Yeah.
Well, thank God you got it before they went crazy, because I think they're pretty much $100 right now. My brother Pop Cult Frenzy always has them links over on Twitter, and there was recently somebody was selling. I think they had like 15 of them, and they were selling them for $55. I bought the last 2, because they are super expensive. Just about everywhere you look. But dude, me personally, the mask that has, it's almost like, the very flat one with the gold trim and it right down around the chin into the mouth. That freaking mask looks unbelievable with the colorways on the body. I don't really care much for the green. I love the idea of the dire tech, right, of it being used. It's, they're a force. They're going to get the city to tear itself apart, right? And that's great. I love all of it. But when you put that regular mask on, that is a stunning figure for sure. Next, a couple of them flanking Crystal Ball. Very cool. And then now we get to add some of the dire creepers. Like, just forget about it. I love it. It looks so damn good.
I like the other mask even better with the little creepy skull face. That thing is awesome.
That does look dope. That does. But that gives it the more, it's because you do get the best of both worlds there, where it's the regular Viper helmet, but then you're also getting this nightmare effect that's coming out of it. So it's really like that head is very cool.
What do you think of this, Travis?
This shit's a fucking banger, man.
Yeah.
It's a banger. It's a banger. The whole dire tech thing is cool because Crystal Ball is another one of the, and that's a whole nother show, man. I might have to get to it before you do. We'll see. We'll have to races to go out the races, because what are like some of like these are cool. Like, if we're gonna give Lenny most of the credit on this, which we should, because we don't know who else he's working with, right? Exactly. What are some of the coolest classified up figures? Like it's one thing to say, all right, Duke, Destro, Cobra Commander. Those are all 1-to-1 for the most part, but like Crystal Ball is up there, right? As far as being one of the best creation, taking a character, Raptor, taking these C level, B level characters and making them A++. They built a whole world off fucking Crystal Ball. That's crazy enough.
Yeah.
And then they built the troopers are sold out, and they were like $50 a piece, $55 a piece, and they're gone.
Right.
They're gone.
Right.
So that's like proof of like that's another thing to his legacy, like creating shit like that. And then all the alternate heads. And if he did have any military inspiration, Lenny, because I want this to be a through line for him, is that Call of Duty in gaming and stuff. And I don't know if he was a big gamer, but he definitely looked, he looked up the shit, or he might, his kids too. So I know like Mark Von Cannon, Gridiron, Call of Duty and Battlefield, that's big for them as well. And they know a lot of real world military stuff. They have the right people and they know that stuff. But, Call of Duty, and man, this is another one with that skull ghost mask, man. And then infusing the dire tech in there. It's killer.
So great. And then they just genius, like take all the pets, just throw them in, like, and they put the Techno Vipers wristband thing and put a little flame in it, and just all that shit is. I think it's the same. I'm not sure. The all that is so good,
Mm.
and then it's brilliant.
For
And
sure.
then I mean, like using barbecues, flame retardant foam thing, just like all of it. It's just they added they added what 4 new pieces, the 2
Right.
heads and
Yeah.
the claws,
Snake.
right? The snake,
Oh yeah.
the wolf was timber, pretty much everything else was on the head, I guess, one of the heads.
And that's genius in itself,
Right.
like you can always talk about original creations, which we're talking about, but also just taking pieces from the line and making wonderful characters out of it, or at least fun, innovative characters. They don't have to be front and center in your collection, but it's innovative and it fills a spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what you were saying about I always refer to it as the classification of a figure. So even they didn't even do it necessarily with just like the C figures. I know Mark and I share a brain on like what they did with like scrap iron and tripwire. That's just forget about it.
Yeah.
They made tripwire the most coolest fucking thing with all them pieces and everything that they came with, and that's a glow up right there. And scrap iron, who's an already iconic figure, how do you make it so it doesn't just show up and present itself, that it goes out of the park? Well, you just absolutely nail the colors and the little bit of gold accents on his uniform, the helmet, the scarred face, and then they upgrade his drones in the most perfect of ways, right? That makes it affordable.
I love that you brought that up because, and I'm sorry, we're going way off probably now. But this is great. This is a great conversation. Whenever Lenny, Tony, and the team got a chance to make that second or third face sculpt, when they had the budget to do it, think about Frag Viper. We got the Overkill now, right?
Yeah.
We got the Scrap Iron, all these different face sculpts with its second face sculpt, take the mask off, whatever. It's like they just murdered it on all that digital.
So good.
Digital face paint, whatever, true effects, whatever you want to call it. They really, really killed it. And that's something that we haven't really talked about a lot either. I don't think as a whole community about Lenny and Tony's contributions to because their inspirations are O-ring and modern era. They couldn't have there's not a lot of detail on any of those paints.
No, you couldn't.
Especially 3 3/4 level figures. So yeah, really taking Joe and bringing it to life in this 1/12 scale has been something else.
Yeah, so we got a list of some of the best glow ups: Crystal Ball, Tripwire, Budo, Scrap Iron, Raptor. Yeah, all those. Yeah. Definitely.
Raptors. Forget about it. I mean, they crushed that one.
Budo was a good one. Budo's a good shout. That's a big one. Heavy Duty is a big one.
Yep. Oh yeah, totally. What do you think the Dire Tech works like? Is it's I think I kind of at first I thought it was more like a fear thing, like it was like what's the fear? Whoops, kicked you out. So
there we go.
Happened to me too. There was like a fear technology that they're really, in other words, like the wolf isn't really there. But actually, from what I understand in the card, the wolf is there. They're actually like manifesting a dire, like a technologically, energy wolf.
Horror.
Which is kind of stupid, granted, but it's G.I. Joe and it's fun. What are you going to do?
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Right. I'm probably thinking too much into it, more like that the gas gets into the person and the person's fear manifests it in front of them physically, right? The mask, I think, with like the snake head, maybe that's an induced thing or something along those lines. I always looked at the Dire Tech as like, do you remember the first Christopher Nolan Batman Begins, where they use that flour to grind it up and then it draws out your own personal fears. Then they weaponize that and they try to do it to a whole city. So like when I do these photo shoots where I have the crystal ball and then the ghost vipers are moving through like an alleyway in downtown, is because they're trying to get the city to tear itself apart. Right? Like you're spreading fears from city to big city by releasing this gas, and then this way the city tears itself apart. Cobra didn't do that; they did it to themselves. That sort of thing. I think it's a ultra cool way of doing it. I did this one photo shoot where I had this big green, one of my kids, it was like a nightlight stick, almost like a glow stick, and it had that perfect color green, and I did it like just kind of off screen, and you could, they were looking at it like it was the source. Him and Mindbender in the glow of this thing. It's like this is the source of the dire tech. You're going to use this. I love it.
You see, that's like almost believable to me that you could do like the fear toxin scarecrow thing, and the idea that they are actual wolves that are generated from energy is like a little too crazy stupid, but it is fun, and who cares? My kids, like, this is one where, because you get my kids to play with me, and they love it. They were like in love with this thing. This was like number one.
Mistiff nails it too. I was gonna say the difference between this and Scarecrow is the hypnosis, right? Because that's more crystal ball thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. But
okay. I like it.
Is 1-to-1 Scarecrow, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great analogy, especially from Dark Knight. Yeah.
This would be a good test. Would be if they could make Captain Gridiron not look stupid. Agreed. Yeah, that'd be good. All right, so now we get this guy, which is I didn't actually get him. I thought he was not going to sell out. I was betting. I was going to pick up like 5 of them because I wanted to. I think the reason why they sold out is because when you got one dire tech Viper, right? You really could make like 3 figures out of them.
Right.
But you almost need the guy to walk in with the gun to create the smoke, and then you need a guy to be the wolf, and you need a guy to be the snake. So you almost need for every dire viper, you need like 3. You need to have 2 figures with you.
These are bodies for the dire viper, pretty much.
These are bodies. Because I would that's what I was going to use them for, but now you can't get them. So
the creeper is sold out already. Holy cow!
The creeper sold out in like a day, right?
Day one. Yeah, that's right. Jesus,
I didn't get any. Pissing me off.
Walmart doesn't order that much, and Target orders too much.
Well, Mark, if I don't get canceled, I'm pretty sure I have quite a few on order. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to spare some.
Not surprising. This man has an absolute addiction, by the way, Travis. He buys like how many? You got 27 Crimson Vipers.
28 Python Patrol Vipers.
Sorry.
And then I have like maybe 5 or 6 different figures that I have like 13, 14, 15 of. I actually just won 3 Crimson Alley Vipers in a contest in the Facebook group, The Pit. My brother Jeremy Kimberlin's group there. He does these great raffles. Yeah, he's the best. I just won. That's like my 3rd time winning on there, but yeah, I've had great deals come along my way, and to be honest with you, the past I would say month, I have been uncharacteristically slow on the purchasing because I have the never-ending remodel that I'm doing in my own house, and I'm at the very expensive part right now. We just did the blow-in insulation and now the windows and so yeah.
My room is like a kid's room. There's toys on the floor and the rug.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's more or less. Yep, that's what I'm dealing with because it's just I look at that and I'm like, man, I can't wait to do it, but I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I got this nice little space that I filled up in about 14 months full of stuff. I don't know what to do with my boxes. That's my biggest challenge.
Chuck them.
I kept special packaging only, like the Comic-Con, and even that I'm like, do I really? The Comic-Con stuff, the vehicle stuff, I haven't thrown out yet. I will someday, but I haven't done it yet. But all the regular retail packaging is gone. It's in the.
I had one dude tell me he was like, he said take the packaging out and flatten them, and you'll fit all your boxes in one.
All of them fit in this now, or like in like 2 of these, I can fit all. I can fold them.
I didn't even think about that. I just
got the art. But you know the right thing is to throw them away because it's absolutely fucking worthless. That orange, especially the newer packaging, which kind of sucks.
I'm never gonna sell this line though. There's plenty of other stuff I'm gonna sell before I have to sell classified.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Honestly, the amount of money that I'm gonna get, I'm not gonna bother.
At this point, you're gonna lose, so there's no.
It's not the worth. I'll do something else. Whatever. I'll sell meth or something, and do something easier. What did you guys? Well, what's the most what's the most number of troop builders you bought?
Like 5. Like 4 to 6 is usually, and now I'm at the point where it's unless it's a home run, I'm at 2.
Okay.
I know. I mean, even if it's a home run, I'm at 2. So some of them I just make specialty. I don't buy the 2 anymore unless they're like a regular bats, regular alley vipers. Yeah, but like I'm looking around, I'm like, nah. No, a lot of them now are just specialty. That's how my Star Wars thing is like I don't have more than one normal stormtrooper. I have they're all specialty stormtroopers, and I might have 2 regular ones because it's just there's a million stormtroopers. So like we're starting to get that way with this, with classified at 250 characters. It's like now, okay, you're gonna make this version of a Crimson Guard. He's just a specialty. I don't need 2. You know what I mean? Like there's no more of that anymore.
Oh, Jubilee, about 20 Origins Horde Troopers. Nice. I'm into the Masterverse stuff right now too. Just a little bit because it's there's too much shit to buy already with just classified. But I'll grab a couple things here and there. Wow, did you get one of these guys?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how many I did get. I think I ordered some from Pulse and some from what was it? The Walmart exclusive, right?
Did you get any, Travis?
Yeah. Because Walmart, I've heard, thankfully, I've never been really screwed by Walmart. One time they canceled an order on me, but it wasn't even a pre-order. It was kind of like a few of them popped up somewhere, whatever. But I've heard the horror stories like endlessly about them just like last year. I can't remember which ones it was. I think it was like the Ghost Viper and Crystal Ball, and they were just like canceling the shit out of these poor people that were waiting. And it's like as people's order were getting canceled, there was shit like 15 or 20 of them showing up at random Walmarts, and people were taking pictures and sending it. And they're like, my Walmart's flush with Ghost Vipers. Who wants them? That's just poor distribution and all that craziness.
What are your thoughts on this guy, Travis?
I just grabbed a couple. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I actually was really thrilled when they started to show the images with the Night Creeper mask. To me, it looked better as a Night Creeper. Even with the green arms, I was like, that's enough dire tech for me, because I think the main thing with this was like, that Cthulhu mask is so great on Crystal Ball. You kind of take away from how perfect that figure is, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, because you're just taking a really significant, amazing creation and dumping it on a random ninja, creeper, soldier, and it kind of takes away from Crystal Ball. So I don't know how much of those masks I'm going to use. Maybe they're floating things around, but the Night Creepers themselves look sick. So I'm cool with like 2, I think.
Yeah. The next one is the most figures I've ever bought, which is 6. And I know you're a fan of this guy because I watched your video. It's a great video ranking the troop builders. This was your big fan, but this I'm putting here. I know it's not. I think it's a new character because I think when you put one piece, I think there's 2 figures in the box, really, right? You got your one figure, which is the standard thing you had as a kid. But once you put the wings on it and the claw and the spike hands on it and the spiky head, he's kind of like an elite, like new Cobra Guard. So I think this is like that's an invention. So obviously the one in the box, that you see is not, but the other one that you basically can make out of that figure is
right, like the deluxe, deluxe soldier. Yeah, because I always thought, if you really want a Royal Guard and you want to build these out, wait for the retro. Who knows if we'll ever get that? But this is that's a good call, calling this a new creation, because it is. All that chitin armor and all that, we didn't get that before. So
right.
All the faces, right? Again, I was talking about the faces. Look at these faces; they're so fun. They're a little freaky, but they're supposed to be. It's Cobra, It's supposed to be crazy. We didn't have that before, so it's a classified up, but it might even be. It's kind of that line of classified up into new character. It's like right on that line. Could go either way, right?
Yeah, well, because I think you get because I grabbed 6, and I wanted 2 to be the I gave them the wings and the spikes and everything, and they're like the guards, and then the others are just drones. And then I put that the smiley face to me doesn't make sense unless he's different. He's like a leader, because they should be like mindless drone type people, from what I understand. You know what I mean? Right. So for me, that guy, the guy with the smile, is like. He's the special one, he would have a name, you know what I mean? Almost captain of the. So you gotta I had to have a bunch of them, man. So what are your thoughts on this guy?
Well, smiling guy definitely gets the speaking lines in my head canon. Like that face is wacky as fuck. Like it's scary and funny at the same time. But I echo the sentiments of what you're saying really about I definitely kind of tolerate Cobra Law, for sure. I in my old as I'm older, I definitely appreciate it more from like the movie and everything. But this freaking figure I think transcends even GI Joe. Like you can go and listen to anybody on a podcast, people who collect way more than just GI Joe. They all largely love the figure, which is cool. And I do too. So I have 4 of them. I've only opened one so far, and but I have it's been sitting right over there. I can see it all the time, and it is just remarkably scaled, meaning like when you put the wings on it, when you put all the other things, when you hold that long staff and it's like this, like it all looks perfectly proportionate and perfect. You get them in a little stance, you can it just I don't know I don't know how else to say it really other than when you look at it, it looks like everything fits and is exactly how it should be. And so kudos to the guys for that. And also great call on saying that it's like a new character because it doesn't really look anything like what we got in the movies, and that I mean that with all love and respect to this figure and the movie. So yeah, awesome.
It actually more like this would be great if you got Dark Side and you want the like parademons, like a variation of a parademon or something. It just looks like so yeah, I can see people buying this from other lines. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this guy, Travis?
I would just say, oh, go ahead.
No, I would say they look great with Pythona. Sorry.
Oh yeah, so I mean that actually segues into what I was going to say because they saved Cobra La, so did Energon Universe, but that Energon Universe comics and Classified both kind of killing it with Cobra La, which has always been a redheaded bastard stepchild of GI Joe, right? Let's face it. If Lenny's legacy is killing it with the Dreadnoks and making characters that are not supposed to be cool. He's left a wonderful legacy that's going to be really hard to be topped. And I think this is like one of the icing on his cake for his leaving, right? I mean, basically, this is one of the last drops that everyone's at least got if they're collecting the line. And it's a perfect figure in many ways.
Love it.
I love it. I will say as much, so Davina says, not really a fan of Cobra La. See, I like Cobra La, but it isn't in like my head canon is Cobra Commander is a used car salesman, so I can't have this like. But the Energon Universe comic is changing it for me a little bit. Right. I wouldn't even consider it before, it's just because it's such a cool. I like the realistic, not realistic. Obviously, GI Joe's never realistic, but the like almost realistic to me is more interesting than the crazy sci-fi shit. But I do like this. Like to me, like this the Cobra La does push my believability. However, again, my kids, they were like so thrilled with that figure. We had them guarding.
Hey, you and I had a whole hour and a half show about that with the dinosaur thing.
Yeah.
Like, once they start making, I mean, once Cobra La exists, everything is on the table. Dire Tech, which we just talked about, the dinosaurs, like it's just part of, and I think that was Lenny's thing, was just to like make the craziest stuff fit in and be accepted. And most of it has, or all of it has to a point, so that's really hard to do when you got a lot of, I want, Call of Duty and Battlefield and realistic military stuff, which is, I want it too. I love reviewing the guns and stuff like that. But being able to make wacky shit look great is just something else.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that's who's next. We got a couple more, and we've got our Professor Rockclaw. He actually is two characters again. He really is the Paleo Viper, right? And Professor Rockclaw. But this is not that far fetched, weirdly enough, because they made a direwolf out of DNA, which means like we have basically are doing Jurassic Park technology right now. They made that direwolf. They found like a direwolf DNA and they like patched it with like some sort of other animal. It's exactly the same thing as Jurassic Park, from what I understand, anyway, which is limited, admittedly.
Right. We just haven't found the dinosaur DNA to do it yet. That's all.
I think they probably do have it right now. There was some dinosaur DNA.
Oh, maybe. But I don't think it's that far.
They watched Jurassic Park, hopefully enough to know it's a bad fucking idea.
Right. The movies told us about AI cloning dinosaurs.
So this is actually as stupid as this is. It's fun, and it is. It actually isn't that far fetched. I think it's the technology exists. It's just gonna find that I don't know. What do you guys think of this guy? I know Travis. Why don't you tell us what are your thoughts on this guy?
Well, we spent a long time talking about it. I'll just say that I think we got notifications from Pulse that this and Zanya are shipping soon.
Nice.
So watch your credit card or whatever that warning is. I hate when I hate and love. They give us that warning and then like it's dead silent for like 5 or 6 days, and then it's like, your order has left the building. It's like, what the fuck did you do for 6 days? Like you have to look up my credit statement. Like, just ship it. But wait, it's already bad enough. They got to ship it from wherever it is, Illinois to California, and that takes over a week. And then they give us a whole warning that they're gonna charge us for this for a whole week. It's like, just ship the fucking thing. Get it in my hand. Pulse is so slow. But other than that, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, where do you get your stuff from? Because I like you have stuff like relatively early at least.
I always get shit. Man, I have now given up on that rat race.
Which one?
And what's up?
Which one do you use?
Oh no, I was saying I give up on getting stuff early now, unless like I can get it directly from a toy maker, and I know Hasbro's not really doing that unless you got it like 100 million views, or your Dan whatever Larson or something like that, like Pixel Dan or whatever. You're probably not going to get anything from them. So now at this point, I just kind of do what you do too, is just kind of rank them all. I'll get the whole wave, and when they come, and then I'll rank them. And if I get them nice and early, cool. If not, it's fine. But in the beginning, it was like, how do I build a channel? You got to be first. You got to overpay. You got to. And shout out to all the guys that are just like, hey, they're pumping these. Every time I go on YouTube, there's a new figure that I don't have shipping till fucking June that they've already reviewed. And they do a great job, but I couldn't catch up. I don't have anybody in my DM saying, hey, Travis, I can get you this from China. I just don't have those connections. You figured I would after 5 years of doing this shit, but no one loves me anymore. So that's that's it. I stick to the live streams and the rankings, but it works for me. So.
Bobby Beef seems to get them all first. I feel like
Shark Eyes and the Yojo Jerk and all these guys. But I watch their stuff. The stuff's always entertaining. They bring their own flavor to all the reviews. But I like what I'll take my time. I'll do the edits. I'll do a whole wave in 40 minutes instead of each review being like 20 minutes because they've already I figured that people that are gonna watch my shit, your shit. They're going to already watch B. They're going to watch Punk. They're going to watch all these great reviewers. They don't need my 20-minute opinion on Professor Rockclaw when they've already spent hours watching it. I'll do like a quick 5-minute in a ranking video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Save them some time, save me time, and we all win.
I do a once a year ranking is all I do.
All right. Well, I don't want to take away from the stuff you were doing.
I'm only doing once a year. Yeah, that's it. I'm not even. Yeah. That's it. Pretty much.
Once in a blue moon. You know what it is? Because I live near Entertainment Earth.
Oh, okay, nice.
So the thing is, they're always last, but they're not always last. They're like 90% last. So, and it seems like the carded retro figures, sometimes they'll get those before anyone else, even like China and Australia. And I'll be, if I'm home and not working and I'll get it the next day. They get it because they're 10 minutes away. But it's very rare. It's like once every 3-4 months, I'll get like the Retro Viper or something like that, or the whole wave, and I'll get it. But those are like the least interesting to people, though. You know what I mean? It's like, of course, I'm getting hooked up or getting the figures that no one gives a fuck about early. Yeah, like this figure people care about. Sundown, Overkill. I'm not getting those early, but I'll get Retro Wild Bill early, and I'll get 30 views because no one gives a fuck about Retro Wild Bill when it's not. It's just a repack. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
I agree with the Entertainment Earth thing. So the last 2 waves I got ahead of time, my pre-order, because they like popped up and they're like, oh, we have these. They are shipping like tomorrow. So you order it, and sure enough, it ships like the next day. That last pack with the two Crimson Vipers,
Yeah.
God, I don't. Zap and Crazy Legs, I think, was the one.
Yeah, that was the last video I did where I was like first.
Nice.
Yeah.
They sent me the whole box, and then I bought it. I didn't get it for free, but they're up the road. So I was like, all right, I can win. But that wasn't that interesting of a set. So even when the usual suspect reviewers got them, they caught up. Like it's like I didn't get any advantage getting those early. It's like, oh yeah, I'm first, and then I was like, oh okay, Bees has the same views I do, and he got it a week later. It's like, all right, whatever. Like it is what it is. It's all fun.
Big Bad Toy Store. Yeah, they killed me on. I waited for like months. One of the things I realized with them is they give you the loot pile of loot.
Yeah.
Then they don't tell you. Like they just had. I had it in the pile of loot, and I was like, well, yeah. When they get it, they're gonna send it to me, and they didn't send it to me. I had to go
you have
in
to tell them to ship the pile of loot, which is you're wasting 2 days doing that. But then you save money, obviously, because if you don't do it, each figure is gonna hit you $10 shipping instead of the $4 send it all. And they changed it. Isn't it $6 now?
Well, it was all I ordered from them was 6. No, 5 of the Royal Guards. And so it was just they were all in stock, and they didn't I don't know.
But you put pile of loot when you bought it. You didn't put just ship it to me.
I didn't check anything though. It just happened.
No, there's a choice, brother.
Really?
Yeah.
But I was pissed because they didn't tell me it was. Well, you think they should tell you it's in stock and you have the option. They never gave me like an email saying it's in stock. You can get it now.
It will tell you it's in your pile of loot. Do you want to ship it now?
But you got to go to the. You know what I mean? Like if I buy something 3 months early, you got to send me an email saying it's in stock, dude.
Oh, right.
Like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's a stupid like. System.
Oh, sometimes they don't give you a heads up. You're right.
They didn't tell me. Like I don't check.
They usually
do,
but sometimes they don't. You're right.
Yeah, I'm like, so I'm like, okay, I didn't know. I'm like sitting here waiting for it. I'm like, what the hell's going on here, dude?
Yeah.
Like everybody else has this figure other than me. That's why I bought a 6 because I was like sick of waiting. It turns out it was my fault, not theirs, but it was sort of theirs, but it was half their. First, I was like, why are they so slow? I'm like, okay, no, I'm an idiot. But hey, what are your thoughts on this guy? Well, I think he's fun, man. He's totally fun. Yeah. I need 3 of them.
We can move on. We talk about.
Sounds right. Sounds right.
You want to anything to say about this guy, Destro?
I think it's cool. I'm glad they're doing it. Just something a little bit different. I really like the masthead. So he's got like that little thing. I think it looks cool. I'll be glad to have a few. I don't know how it works in with the rest of the stuff, but that's a future problem.
Yeah, the masthead is for the Paleo Viper. You're gonna that, so it's a totally different figure.
Yeah.
Oh, only 2 figures left, so we're good.
Cool.
All Eddie Dominguez says all this talk. I'm getting some Dino Nuggies. Dino Nuggies are very like if you get a chance to eat some Dino Nuggies, you really want it. As a grown man, you don't want to buy Dino Nuggies for yourself, but if you have the choice to eat them over almost anything, you will chow down on some Dino Nuggies.
If my kids leave them on the plate, I hammer them shits.
Yeah, we can talk about this guy for like 30 seconds max because this is in my opinion. Well, maybe that's just my opinion. This is some boring ass shit. Although bald representation, which I appreciate, finally some bald representation in Cobra. But how
you and
boring
me?
is this?
It's you and me, man. We're on the ramp and down in Newport, right?
Yeah,
Navy. Hey, you know what? This could have been it. Someone said this was the stretch goal that the patches were, and then they cut the budget.
Should have been.
Man,
look at the packaging.
I'm thinking there's something to it, right? Or if they were going to do the patches or whatever, this is supposed to probably come out a lot earlier. But you got to think they created a box, and maybe that box is just, you got to get it right and get it. That could have took a while. There was some reason this was delayed, though. You know what I mean? By a little bit. But it was the last HasLab we got in hand because we don't have the Snowcat yet. So I think the timing, it's not like getting the Dragonfly people now. That's 2 years later. But yeah, I mean, this is cool. It's a cool, if you're in love with the Rattler, and I am, this is I'm gonna dump it right underneath this guy. It's gonna look cool underneath the Rattler. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a cool compartment. I don't even know what to say, but like an acquaintance set or something like that.
Accoutrement.
Complimentary set to the Rattler. Yeah, it's perfect for that. Yeah.
Nice.
Very hard to get excited about it, though. Very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good,
it's nothing super exciting, but I do like that. So I've been kind of building actually. So there's this gentleman, oh God, Spec Hop Toys. I just found him. He's on Twitter, I think Instagram too. Dude, he's got the weapons transport, the original one for G.I. Joe. It's the little guy sits on it, and there's a little thing that tows behind. It's got the bomb on it. It was a G.I. Joe vehicle back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, he makes Joe versions and a blue Cobra version, and it's going to be my thing that's going to taxi the Rattler out of the hangar onto the whatchamacallit. And having a couple of these guys, I think that's how I'm going to display my Rattler. I personally think it should have absolutely come with the Rattler. That'd be better. Those patches are like a slap in the face. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm glad that they're there, and I'm glad that they didn't jack the price up to like $80 or something like that. Like they're still at a price point that's like, okay, fine, I'll get these, because if it was jacked up like some of the other stuff is recently, I'd be a little more reluctant. But I definitely got a couple sets.
The V Duckworth says you can pretend. What's that?
What was the price of this? 60?
Yeah, I think so.
58 or 59.99.
That's fair if you think about it, because you're getting the the
big box
and all that other stuff. It's actually kind of big. Yeah, I think it's fair. That's fair, especially modern day pricing. Yeah.
Right.
They come with wands. There you go. Call sign smashes. He fucks around and bought these, so he has an excuse to buy a Rattler. Sorry to my wife. Yeah. What happens in the chat stays in the chat. Yes. Let's see. So these do not excite me in any way. I think, but yeah, sure, it's fine. It's like menial workers. Sorry. So all right, we have our final. I think this is our final figure of the. Here we go. There you go. There you go, man.
Who's that guy? What? Man.
That's funny. Oh wait, did you do Shadow Tracker, or is he not new?
He's not. He was made in the Pursuit of Cobra, and he's pretty much exactly like the Pursuit of Cobra. Actually, has an alternate mask.
Oh,
this isn't Sundown. This is Sun Up, because that's top of the morning to you on movie set. But
Sunset.
Nice. What was the movie set?
It's I don't know if I should say it online. Sure, whatever. No one important's watching this. Just kidding. The studio. Good show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But a little more Poncho Villa. But if they give me a regular cowboy hat, you're looking at a closest thing to Sundown I'll ever get in. So yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, so here we go. This is actual Sundown here. What are your thoughts on this guy?
Sweet. I dig it. It's another. There's a lot of figures. It just is the same in the 3 3/4 line. Even the figures that I don't necessarily like, I look at and go, because like this doesn't fit with like say any of the other like dios that I make or whatever. This dude's a little different. So it's not like, don't get me wrong, I'm buying them, but it doesn't jump out as like, oh shit, I have to have that for this setup. But I love that they made it, right? Like I remember in like 86, there was a bunch of figures like Sci-Fi. I was like, oh, I'm not rushing out to like get that figure, but I'm glad that they made it, because it shows that they're doing all these other things, right? For that reason, I love it. But I do like the overthrow on him, and he does look kind of loaded out around the chest, like in his chest rig and everything. Sleeves are rolled up, 2 6 guns, a hatchet, a Bowie knife, and a cowboy hat. I mean, I don't know how much more you want from an action figure.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Travis?
It's beautiful. I see a comment that it's not technically new because of the cops. It has nothing to do. Was it maybe a partial inspiration that this cowboy character from Cops? But they don't look anything alike. They're completely different ethnicity. They're
right.
They're both named Sundown, and they're both cowboys, but they're two different toy lines. I get there's kind of like, because you got Beachhead's kid, in Cops, right, or whatever. So I kind of get that. But now this is pretty much. I mean, this is the most original character Lenny's ever made, right? You get the face sculpt. We got a full fucking story.
Yeah.
And he's attaching it to the headman. Oh
yeah,
man,
so
Lenny
excited.
left before we got the headman, but guess what? We're gonna get him at Yojo June or San Diego Comic. We're gonna get the reveal of one of those, right? And then it's all Lenny's hands are all over it. But tying it into lore is cool, even though it's Deke. Again, Lenny going after Deke. Deke sucks, and we're gonna make that. We're gonna make those figures cool. This is part of that, and it's an original character. They probably wanted to do something different. Bounty hunter.
Yeah.
You know, so a little bit different than like Wild Bill as a cowboy. So yeah, you could do so much with this, and it's different. It's not going to fit in with Beachhead and Snake Eyes and stuff. It's a whole different place, but that's what they're doing with these waves, is telling different stories. Like this was a go against Desert Scorpion, and kind of like, you know, like characters.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, you could do that. There's a lot of stuff you could do with this. It doesn't always have to be boots to the ground military stuff. So it's cool.
You're gonna have there's a lot of GI Joe that's special ops, like, or not even like more like spy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like lore where you go in the comic book and you'll see, you know, even like in the Devil's Due or IDW, they had Duke going on like special missions alone, almost like a spy, almost like a James Bond. So you would definitely have that, and cover obviously somebody like Scarlet or Lady J is always doing that kind of operation. So you do have, you can always have this guy, you know, in that kind of world. So yeah, it's good. You gotta be able to go anywhere Cobra is, right?
Mistif makes a great point down below about the tattoo, because it reminds me of what they're doing with Red Dog. Right? There's a lot of different inspirations with some of the, either it's a tattoo or an insignia or a weapon. Like he has the Samoan weapons, Red Dog, right? So like that's a classified up version from the movie. And then again, the Mayan logo. So they're not just this guy looks cool, here you go, it's a toy. There's a lot of like a lot of research. Lenny's not just drawing, he's looking up stuff on the internet, he's reading books or whatever, right? He's like great, like the Aben Mayan logo, he didn't know that offhand. He looked it up. He's like, he was maybe inspired by something he saw. And we talked about all that logo, like when the character came out, we saw all the stuff on the back. So there's so much to it, you know what I mean? So it's kind of sucks that we don't have more than just a file card that's on Instagram for 2 days. It's like we, you know, it'd be nice to have websites and sketches or animated series. Like they're building all these great characters and lore, but there's no media connection for us to like the cartoon and the comic, you know, maybe the comic, but yeah, I don't know. It's pretty rad though.
Yeah, that's why I want to have talk. I had talking to Mark Beasley and Instagram. He gave me a little bit of lore bit that I don't think I've heard anywhere else. But again, it's like, why don't we know this? Like, where's the place where we can learn all this shit? But you don't have Sarah, the little rat. And
right.
So it's named after a landmine museum in Cambodia. There's the Apsara dancers who perform in costumes based on the statuary and carvings at Angkor Wat. So that's where he gets his name. I didn't know that. Right.
I
don't know.
But this is stuff that we should be able to read somewhere.
Exactly.
You know, I even suggested they do, and I know everyone hates this term, but a Kickstarter book, because I know Hasbro that's not going to be in their budget, even though it's fucking billion, gajillion. It is what it is. They're just, if they did a Kickstarter book with all the file cards of all the classified figures up to 300 or 250, and then all these like sketches, they've got I don't know if they would own it or Lenny, but like if they could have all the sketches in it plus some of this research stuff, like I'd be so fascinated to read that stuff. You know what I mean? Like what you just told me, that should be in that book. All these stuff that inspire each, have one page on a character and all these like cute, cool, like the books that Metaxas makes, 3D Joes.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of, like when he does the file card books, they're not just, you're not flipping through and it's just fucking file cards. There's all kind of like, hey, in 1986, Mark, you know, was told this, the designer might, you know, whatever, like Larry Hammer was inspired by this. And Ron Rudat met a guy at a gas station that is the inspiration for, you know what I mean? Footloose or some shit. Like, I like that shit. You know what I mean? Like I might be way deep into G.I. Joe to care about that, but that's something we should get with Classified. You know what I mean? Give us the story behind this whole line. It's 6 years.
Commander Unicron says creating Kickstarter for file cards. There you go. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, this guy's great, man. I love him. All right. Well, that's everything. That's all of them. Well,
Right at 2 hours.
yeah, right at 2 hours. So
Nice.
what did well, one last question would be what's your favorite contribution of Classified, your favorite of these guys, you think? Travis, you can, or if you
I'll let Michael go first.
okay.
Oh,
Just
well,
went on a
real quick,
long rant.
not that.
I think I know his answer.
I think I had 788 Fire Team written down as something new too. That's mostly just repaints, but those
Yeah.
those would arguably be my favorite. I love that set. But if I had to pick, it's Wolf Spider and the Trench Viper are my favorites of the new ones for sure. Yeah, I'd have to go with those without a doubt. And I don't know, Crimson Alley Viper I think is mostly just a repaint, but I don't know if
Yeah, I don't want to do. I think repaints are because they don't create new lore.
the
I
truth.
feel like that's why.
Right.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
Grim
for sure.
Viper is different because he's like, he's more than a repaint. He's like, he is a new thing.
It's a whole new name.
Enough of a
Definitely.
kitbash. Yeah.
Right. For sure. Yeah. Wolf Spider is the man. From the second I saw it, he's been one of my favorite ones. I'm troop building with him. He is the troop builder for Strike Team Fangbuster, which in my head canon is the sub team for Night Force. So that's where it's at.
See, that is one thing we didn't talk about is that the Night Force creation. Night Force was a thing, but it's Classified turned it into like we fight supernatural shit kind of
Dark
right?
Energon, yeah.
Yeah, Dark
Right.
Energon.
I mean, it just kind of gives them the old team a mission.
Mm.
You know, I don't know if that's like a whole. It's new, like the lore is new, but
Right.
yeah.
That is pretty cool.
That's kind of cool. But Tony's Figs is here. Hello. What kind of coming?
What up, Tony?
Yeah. What's your favorite? You have a favorite, Travis?
Yeah, I would just say, just as kind of not a ranking as far as figures, but just innovation. The Ghost Vipers and the Royal Guards, just getting those troop builders and bringing more than just troop builders. They're just bringing them to life and connecting. Just the final thought is, you know, if we want to say anything cool about what Lenny's done with these characters, he dared to be different. This is a military line. And he dared to be different. And he dared to bring his own sensibilities to the line. It didn't always work. It was never 100%. If it's so, then it'd be boring reviewing it because everything would be a 5 out of 5. Right. I had to give him a hard time every time I see my Comic-Con. He's like, "Oh no, what do you got to say?" You know, it was nice being honest about stuff because you're not always gonna kill it, not always gonna knock it out of the park. But he did more times than not, and he brought his sensibilities. He came from, the sci-fi. Fantasy world. He brought that. He loves punk rock and metal. He brought the Dreadnought. He gave them a Dreadnought edge. And then when it came to military, he brought like a modern warfare, right? Take on G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? It's not always going to be right. It's modern warfare. Modern warfare can mean anything. It could be modern. We're in the future, right? So it might not make fucking sense. And these toys have to be for kids, unfortunately. I don't know who's buying them, but what kids are buying them. But that's you have to use one handcuff every time he's making these figures. They have to be for kids. Never talk about it or reviews, but they did, and I think he did a great job. And all these characters, Mark, this was a brilliant idea. Kind of going over all the stuff that he and the Classified line created because that gets overshadowed with Duke and Destro and all these bigger character Roadblock, all these characters that we always talk about. He made cool stuff. I wish he made more. That's all I'll say. I wish, as the last thing I'll say is I wish we had more. I wish this is 2 hours, but I wish we had a part 2 because I wish he was allowed to make more creations. They wouldn't have all been great. They wouldn't have all been 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5, but it would have been cool to see.
Definitely, absolutely, yeah. He really kind of just started. It feels like with the new stuff. You know, it's only been a couple years of doing new stuff. Yeah, and he really, you could see with the Sundown, that was the first time you're like, oh, he wants to make new shit.
And now we have to ask him because they're not going to go out and say Lenny made. You're not going to ever say it on the fan stream.
Oh
you know what I mean? Maybe the next episode, because remember the first Marvel Legends fan stream after Ryan left. They mentioned he's not a designer, he's a brand manager, so that's different. But they mentioned him a lot. So they might mention Lenny a lot for the next one for Yojo June, but after that, it's a new era. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
Right.
no, so we're never gonna know unless he tells us, and he'll tell us over a couple of years. He'll tell us, but what stuff he made, what stuff he didn't, and hopefully it's a lot. Hopefully it's for the next year or so. Yeah.
Awesome. Great call. Great call.
All right. Well, let's anything. What do you guys get going on in your channels, and then we'll call it a night, I guess. Yeah.
Destro Designs for all things G.I. Joe, Viper Den Studios for my finished photography. On YouTube, I'm Destro Designs. Saturday night, I do live from Viper Den Studios. I'm doing a double dose this week. On Friday, Laser Pants is coming in. And then on Saturday, I have the gentleman behind the account, Yojo Collectibles. He's just like a prolific photographer. He just pumps out 2-3 photos a day that are just unbelievably great. Outside, forced perspectives, everything. And also, right before we came on air, I sealed the deal. To me, he's the action shot god. Nate Mylar, he's going to be coming on the show somewhere coming up soon. We did nail down a date, but he said he was definitely going to come. So that's fantastic. I love stopping by here on Mondays. Mark has been so gracious with having me on so often. Tuesdays, I try to swing by Figure Fight Club and their open mic night, show off stuff I've got recently. Wednesdays, whenever I have the opportunity, I try to do an episode of the Power Hour with my brother Jay Antonio, who's the Bearded Sumo. And Tuesdays and Fridays, I drop those Joe-centric articles on serpentorslayer.com.
We said it's over already. These guys are going to go. No, I'm not personally. I don't love a 3-hour live stream. So maybe you guys in the chat do. I don't know. Tell me. I don't particularly.
They're used to me going for a long time.
I am not a 3-hour. I am an hour and a half, two Ted. Sorry.
No, you know what I loved about this show is because Wednesday we are talking about the legacy of Lenny, and I talked about it so fucking much tonight that I'm just gonna go to my guests, and when they're done, I'm gonna move on. And if they're gonna be like, Trav, what do you think? We're like, watch DIMSA from Monday, because I incorporated the characters we talked about that Classified made with what I thought about his legacy. I don't have to do it Wednesday, but yeah, stay tuned. The Toy Kind of Mood returns. I know it's been inconsistent, but it's fine. I have a life. Kind of. I don't know. It's not a good life. But, just traveling a lot. But no, I'm back, and A Toy Kind of Mood will be on a very late show. So it's cool because if you can't stay up late, you watch it the next day. So it'll be A Toy Kind of Mood, 8 o'clock Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern. So kind of a late night with Travis Fallon. Moody Fallon, so a late night show, and we're talking about the legacy of Lenny, and then I think one thing we didn't talk about in here, we'll talk about on Wednesday, is where does Classified go without Lenny, right? We didn't really talk about that, so we'll talk about that on Wednesday, and then get the boys' opinions on everything, and then also, we're kind of bringing back a little more toy news because I haven't been around, so I want to talk about that in art, the Batman Who Laughs.
Oh yeah,
in art stuff. Oh, actually, I got it right here.
It's crazy.
I got I don't have the Batman Who Laughs, but I got the Dark Knight Veil.
Nice.
So I want to talk about that. Marvel Legends did pre-orders, fan stream. I didn't talk about that. And I was at WrestleMania weekend. A lot of reveals. My wrestling heads, my marks, my WWE. Lot of figure reveals. I got a bunch of figures in, so I'm going to talk about some WWE stuff. So it'll be a fun show, and we'll pay tribute to Lenny on A Toy Kind of Mood as well. So stay tuned. And thanks, guys. This was awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. It was great.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Guys. All right. See y'all in chat. See you next time.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
Peace. Thank you.